Good evening and welcome to Formula Sprint 1 action from the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. The city of Barcelona has football fever as the men's and women's teams are looking to rule European club football, but it's all about FS1 this evening. I'm back after my time off for holiday. Alongside me today, it's none other than Alex Hallows. Alex, how you been keeping?
Yeah, I've been waiting, very anticipated about the next round after the madness that happened in Saudi Arabia last round. I'm really excited to see the more exciting stuff that's going to happen in Barcelona today.
Yeah, without a doubt. So yeah, brand new month here, May the 1st. Lovely Thursday evening for us today. And Barcelona has its history. It dates back quite a long time. Of course, has been off the calendar as well, but FS1 has certainly taken its twist since I was away. Amir Oates was a fantastic substitute for himself 2 weeks ago, so I really appreciate his efforts. But now the primary crew are back together with Remco Zeeuw as broadcast director, as always. So yeah, as we saw 2 weeks ago, it was a huge shock to Force as they couldn't get on the podium in race 1. They let points drop to Oliver Taras and Jas Latinen. Apex GP absolutely stunning in race 1. And then in race 2 was a bit of a comeback there for Matthews Micah, closing the gap at the top to just 3 points. So yeah, it's not going to be a two-way system whatsoever as Apex have fought their way back. And indeed, as usual, Frank Hamming banked a lot of points for himself there, nearly at 100. And then a very fascinating duel for the bottom half of the top 10 with Saracino and the QTs. Mixed fortunes in Saudi for them. Tylene for KKR Esports. He's a specialist, I have to say, around the streets. The complex of Jeddah. So he knows his way around there, getting more solid points. And then we have a Nexium pole team together there. Gazowski and Roshak separated by a single point. But yeah, it's great to have another team announcing their intentions to go far in this championship. I know Apex FS2 played a fantastic campaign a year ago, so they know what they're doing with their existing lineup. So they're going to have to try and prove themselves once again, Alex.
Yeah, they had a very impressive race day last round with including that amazing 1-2 finish that they had in Saudi Arabia. And Oliver Taras getting P1 in race 1 and P2 in race 2, which is a very amazing, successful evening for the young driver there. And you know, we did see as well last round Multiforce GP having those struggles after in race 1 mainly with I think Matthews Micah having a bit of some damage on the car after some contact, and Pavel Andrzejewski having a bit of a spin due to worn out tires. But I think today a very sunny Spanish Grand Prix, very sunny here, as you mentioned as well, in the real world, and let's long may it continue, the exciting entertainment that we're going to be having tonight.
Yeah, without a doubt. So yeah, the memories from my time broadcasting FS1. Maciej Hilla in 2023 pulled off an outrageous strategy to win race 2 and the reverse grid draw. His attack into turn 1 was very memorable. He go all the way to the edge of the track and then cut in for the apex. It was absolutely mesmerizing to see. And then, of course, in last year's event, we had Freilich. He made his comeback, I believe, for this round after being away for studies. And then eventual champion Mike Quint got himself crucial points with the race 2 victory. So yeah, you've got to be a very high standard caliber of driver to get a win around Barcelona, or else you need to think of something like Maciej and shock everybody, including myself in the commentary booth. So yeah, with this tire strategy, it's going to be really important around here. It is a punishing circuit for your tires, even if I'm sure many drivers have pounded in the laps around here for various practice sessions. It does have that balance between the high speed and the windy corners. Now it's time to count down to our qualifying session. Just 10 seconds to go until the green light will be alerted there. And we've Latinen eager to get to work, trying to back up those points. He earned 2 weeks ago. There we go, green light, and everyone can now get to qualifying. And yeah, Apex GP, they're really in a fine fettle of form there after Latinen won race 2 in Suzuka, my most recent appearance on the show last month. And indeed, the spring break is coming thick and fast. Just another round in the United States at Indianapolis, and then we have the extra time off. So yeah, this has been a remarkable couple of months at this stage, and yeah, it's already heading towards the first third of the campaign. It is absolutely extraordinary.
It's been a pretty good season so far. If I'm correct, we had around I'm just counting them now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 different winners, if I'm correct. Just looking on the charts here of the championship table, which is Andrzejewski, Micah, Latinen, and Taras winning said races as well. And I think no, they're not all from different rounds, but it's been. Oh, there's also the Tuties as well. I apologize about that. Yep, nearly forgot the Tuties after that amazing race in Japan that we all witnessed. And yeah, there's the graphic there with the Spanish Grand Prix that we have now, and then that big break gap there after the US Grand Prix, and now we head into Yassi Latinen, who is now doing a hot lap around Circuit de Catalunya, Barcelona.
Yeah, so the first chicane has its moments of great glory in the past. Indeed, it is a place where, if you're not careful, there will be danger afoot as collisions are prevalent. Yeah, now the exceptional turn 4 there for the hard braking zone down to turn 5. Now how this sector 1 time is going, so yeah, everyone's going to be set in purples to begin. We'll try and find anyone with a noteworthy time. Micah has actually gone sub 24 seconds there in sector 1, so Micah, the best driver so far in sector 1. Let's see how he get on now for sector 2 coming up right now. It's 29.4 for Yassi. Scott Flack has actually got a 29.2, good enough to just be behind Micah. It's so close between these 3 drivers, so yeah, I would give the favoritism to Micah just at this moment. But yeah, now the final 2 corners are back to their authentic selves. There we go. We'll see Latinen pushing very hard 6th gear, and now all the times are flying in. There's Scott Flack as anticipated up in the front row, but Micah has to try and best that time, and he certainly does by 1500ths of a second. And there's Pavel Andrzejewski, championship leader, right on cue there, P3.
Yeah, that's making it look easy as always in that car, and you know, at the moment our top spot is taken by him for now. Scott Flack, an impressive lap, taking P2, as well as the other Motorforce GP driver, Pavel Andrzejewski, taking P3. I'd say it's still quite close. It's still early on in this qualifying session, and you know, there's still plenty of drivers still driving around. We do see now Ben Skinner there, I think if I'm correct, replacing the absent Juho Sapanen, who is unfortunately not with us tonight. And we do welcome, if I'm right, Jesper Eriksson and the other driver Lorenzo Turi, replacing Tom Lafont and Sven de Vries for the rest of the season. And after seeing Jesper Eriksson as well last race, mightily impressive, but you know, still has a few tweaks to iron out.
Yes, of course. So yeah, I missed a lot of the transfer business that has been taking place. So I know Tom has had to voluntarily leave for personal matters. So I hope all is okay with Tom. I wish him the very best and hope to see him again in future. So yeah, Ben has to step up alongside Jesper to get 0-1 working to the best of their abilities. They're still pretty solid there in 12th in the championship, so not bad going. Janssen Bintz is back after he took the last 2 races off, so he gave us a farewell victory, but now he's back, and the Luxembourger is going to be working double quick time to make sure he's not feeling rusty. And of course, KKR have Tylene, as I mentioned. He is one of the best drivers around the Saudi street circuit, and now we're on European soil. The Super Swede has his car in 7th place, so the Australian team trying to hype up their chances here with Menno Klant ever reliable. He always seems to score points around here when it's on the calendar, perhaps one or two exceptions, which I'll bring up later in the broadcast. So yeah, about right, really. We've overpower with Scott Flack there, P2. So they're the team in the middle of the pack in the championship, as well as, of course, new Hyperion driver Damir Karatko. He's got the Hyperion P5, so absolutely wonderful stuff there for the Polish team.
Yeah, looking very, very strong there. Hopefully it's all going very well. I think it's also another switch in Hyperion as well. One of the drivers that you mentioned.
Cardas. Beg your pardon, it's Damien
Cardas. Damien Cardas. Yes, Damien Cardas, who's reserved in for the Broski, who's not there, if I'm correct. And I'm just checking the lead board. Damir Karatko, the Serbian driver, replacing Tunlua, who is absent today as well. If I'm correct, Damir had a very, very strong race the other day in FS2, finishing P4 in race 1, and unfortunately, if I'm right from watching race 2, had a DNF due to an absolute carnage of a race in both, well, not just race 2 that happened, but race 1 as well. I just kind of hope that we don't have anything like that in FS1. I hope they all behave. So that's what I'm kind of hoping for.
Exactly. Yeah, we had plenty of mayhem in Japan race 2 as well. So we hope for a bit more calm here at a traditional circuit. As Menno Klant breaks into the top 10, really nice lap, but I'm sure he'll be critical of his sector 3 there, just not quite at his absolute best there. Tylene picks up another position there, so KKR on the rise here, P6, and there's the technique we saw, of course, there back in the day in 2023. And now Pavel has grabbed the pole position there. Lovely stuff with a 117.5. So he just snuck in and took it for himself there. We have a Multiforce 1-2, feeling similar to how we saw back in Melbourne. So they don't want to mess around after the impressive showing from Apex. And here's Latinen again. He's just a bit down in Sector 2, and he realizes that it's unsalvageable. So he's going to pull into the pits as we've completed more than half of the session. Another 50% to go. Team Shiba, as we've noted, very, very impressive in the championship. And Saracino here in number 16 car, bringing Team Shiba some fantastic results recently. Now he's going to see if he's got a lap time in here. He needs to reach the 117s. It's just about there at the minute, just short of it in 11th. Can he get into the top 10? He certainly can. That's much better. A 117.795. And he takes it away from Damien. So Damien will be eager to try again, but his teammate here, Zubinski, just outside the points paying positions. He's heading into the final 2 corners now. Got to stay as committed as possible if he wants to finish the lap, but alas, he doesn't.
Yep, just checking. Just also checking the YouTube chat at the moment. Don't say hello. Don't be shy, guys. It's all going on right now for the qualifying session. We got a few people actually cheering for their favorite team and their favorite driver. We got the LEF manager cheering on Turi, who's actually currently P12, so a nicely done lap for on a debut as well. Who's just gone out for an outlap for now. And we also have another one in the chat saying, "Let's go Apex Grand Prix," with both drivers currently P4 and P8. A bit of a different vibe here compared to last round, but hopefully they will improve their time as we still have just about 5.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, lots of familiar names in chat, so welcome along. And there's Christers is cheering on Yassi himself. So, yeah, lots of popular support here for Apex GP, one of the teams that were called up from FS2 last season, thanks to their strong performances. And yeah, they've really proven why they were more than good enough to make it up. So with the 5 minutes to go mark on the horizon, we're going to see a bit more work here for Taras, who wants to close in to his teammates. He'll take the notes, try and get 1:17. That's sort of lap times. Yeah, that's the target for everybody to reach, 1:17s. Yeah, certainly the average by all means is about 1:18.1. So yeah, he needs to just break clear that average and get into the top 8. And yeah, he's so close, but yeah, nevertheless it is a P7. So he swaps around with Lucas. Patrick Roshak, oh, huge improvement there for Nexium pole team. And Patrick has entered P7 there. So now Taras, that was a brief stint in 7th place. Patrick has taken it off him. And here comes Frank Hamming. He's green in sector 2. A bit of a wiggle there, Alex. I'm worried about that, and that has proven costly.
Yeah, that was a bit of a. You got to be really careful that last corner, especially not trying to touch that. Yeah, you could still see around that last corner the gravel trap there. You really don't want to touch that or extend the track limits just about. Otherwise, just like that, that we just saw a bit of a wiggle, bit of a shake there, which yeah, as you said, it was very costly. We see Lucas Tylen going around. Into turn 14, the final corner, going into the finish straight, and it makes an impressive time going to P6 and improves his time. Hopefully, very comfortably P6 for now. Whilst teammate Menoclomp is P10, just behind by just I'd say a small amount. As well, just eyeing up Damir Karatko, the reserve driver for Team Iris. Currently P11, which is really impressive stuff from the Serbian driver, and but you know, let's see what happens in the race for everyone.
Yeah, by all means, yeah, it's good to have Damir pushing the team well up in the order there, just shy of the top 10. Pavel not confident in that lap, I'm afraid. He was too far down, to be honest, so by all means, get into the pits and try again. You've got perhaps another 30 seconds just to prepare your car for the final outlap. Depi Saracino, not concerned about that at the minute. He's green in both sectors. He needs to find another 0.4 of a second if he wants to secure a pole position for Team Sheba. He just misses out on the front row, but he's up to 3rd. That is really good. Scott Flack has to respond as best he can. It's a very late night for him, of course, the Aussie up late at night to compete. And Ben Skinner there in his 01 Esports debut. He's put a tire perhaps on the gravel and he's spun it. And his new teammate Jesper Eriksson gains 1 position and goes to 27. So Alex Gonzalez green, the existing LEF auto racing driver, another one with a new teammate, he's down in 28th. And then 100 to 1 are 29th and 30th. Down there at the bottom, so they've got a lot of work to do as they want to try and improve their position. They're currently bottom of the championship, but certainly no means to be discouraged just yet if they can't find one last lap. Now we're on board with the nose cam here, Vlad Tinen. He has to recover the lost 0.2 of a second in sector 2, otherwise his odds of getting near the Multiforce drivers will evaporate. He's got to nail this lap or else it's all over. Through the final corner he goes, nice and committed there, very straight and secure for the start-finish line, but it's not a grid position improvement, I'm afraid to say. Not quite there. Close.
Yeah, from Saracino's, from that P3, there was a green in Sector 1 and Sector 2, but unfortunately not improved time in Sector 3, which he must have had made a bit of a costly mistake in one of the Sector 3 corners there. But we do see Kasper Michalak improving the time a bit, still P25 as well, having a bit of an amber-orange on Sector 3, so it seems people are starting to struggle a little bit in around those corners. And here is Lorenzo Churi, had an improvement on Sector 1, but not so much improvement on Sector 2. Just looking on my chart here, going into turn 12, nicely done. Not touching the gravel trap, which is something you really want to avoid, and nicely done there as well. Going to the final corner of turn 13, going to the start-finish race. Would this be an improvement? Not so quite yet, unfortunately. Yeah, just not an improvement, and will be staying put at P14. Obviously, Rozak making a big improvement here, going up to P4. Nicely done by Patrick Rozak.
Good man, Patrick. Well done. Getting the next pole team right in the mixer for a chance at a podium success. Checkered flag waving, of course. Is there anyone at the periphery of a chance here? Damien Cardas, he is one. He has a personal best, Sector 1. We'll watch him as well as Lucas Tylene as well. They're both on green Sector 1 times, and they'll be doing their best to secure anywhere in range of Scott Flack or thereabouts, maybe even better, knowing what Patrick was capable of in the next Paul team. Cardas, he's up again here, Alex. This is very encouraging. If this approximate time lasts, he will be challenging Flack indeed. So there we go. The turn 12, a lap can be spoiled there in a matter of seconds, but no problem here for Cardas. One corner to go. He's very mindful of the curb. Really impressive. 117.799. Wow. He gets P7. Not quite there at the end. Scott Flack will be safe in fifth, but here is Tylene. Is it good enough? No, it's actually not. Maybe he missed the checker flag, I'm afraid, or some other mistakes. So he doesn't get to register that time. So Lucas, yeah, I think he's a bit frustrated, or he's just probably having a laugh with himself, saying, what could have been, as that lap was probably deleted. So Matthews Micah, congratulations on securing pole position here, giving himself the ultimate shot of going top of the championship, Alex, because he's only 4 behind. And it is 30 points for win, 25 for second, race 1 situation. So Pavel better watch his back as his teammate is raring to go, or actually just 3 points behind, beg your pardon. So yeah, win for Matthews will give him the championship lead. Of course, let's not rule out Giuseppe Saracino, P6 the championship there with the second row star. Patrick Roshak flying there in 4th. Scott Flack impressive in 5th, giving Overpower a chance to look up the championship once again. Apex GP with their fan base, P6 for Yassi and P9 for Oliver. Then we've Damien Cardas, one of our best new appearers, in 7th there. Lucas Tylene in 8th. And then, of course, behind Oliver Tars is Menno Clont in a very solid top 10. The points playing positions so far belong to Frank Hamming, Demir Karatko for Team Iris, Lorenzo De Cutis in the other Team Sheba. Lorenzo Churi is giving Team Boss his namesake Lorenzo Tervis Funcic something to be cheerful about there, as he was feeling optimistic there. He's 13th. Wesley Stefano 14th, and then the other Overpower, Magnus Okenhag, has P15. You see the first Pixel 8 car, Janssen Bintz, P16. He's back after some time off. Matthews Kozowski, Vin Glenn, and Matthews Vince the top 20. Philip Koenig is 20th there, so my mistake. We look at Massimilian Raboli 21st, Raymond Van Sus 22nd, Ben Skinner, Carl Magnus Bore, Kasper Michalak, Jesper Eriksson, Alex Gonzalez Green, and then the 200 to 1s were together 28th and 29th, so maybe someone dropped out. I could have sworn we had all 30 cars a minute ago, but maybe someone just backed out and didn't keep their time on our little scoreboard, so I'll double check the VOD just to see if everything's okay. And there you go, Lorenzo even making the points there. His namesakes are 12th and 13th. And here we go into the warm-up, Alex. So our thumbnail features Menno Clont in the KKR esports car. So how have you felt their season has been going?
Yeah, it's been going good. They have they brought in if I'm just trying to get the thing here. There they are. KKR Esports just found it. Menno Clont being brought into the team after, if I'm correct, last season they were in he was in Multiforce GP, the Maltese team, and now swapping over, going to KKR, the Australian branded team. If I got that right. Just looking in the constructors' point table, 5th place with 94 points, just ahead of Nexium as well by a point, and just behind HGP Motorsport. They're still it's still up for grabs as we're nearly halfway of the season. They could improve up to maybe a P4 place. It's going to be quite hard to reach the top 3 with Team Sheep of 179, Apex Grand Prix of 211, and Multiforce of 285. But overall, they've been doing really, really good so far. I think the highest position from the team was Thailand, finishing P2 in race 2 of Turkey, which I was absent from, which I saw a glimpse of when I was at the airport, and it was really impressive, as well as Thailand also catching just, if I get this correctly, a P3 last round in Saudi Arabia at Jeddah Street Circuit, which is also, at very crucial points for KKR. And not long. I hope, they keep up the good work for the remainder of the season. They still got a lot to do. I think they're going to be fighting with Nexium as well as HGP to hopefully, gain that P4 position and hopefully defend themselves from Nexium as they're quite close on their backs.
Sure, yeah. And I suppose one thing to note, I watched the replay of the Saudi GP 2 weeks ago, and Menno Clant lost a handful of points at the last corner of the last lap. He ended up in 14th instead of the 12th he was going for, and he lost his front wing in the melee. So there are a case or two where Menno has felt, it's unraveled on me, and I regret just those small errors having big consequences, particularly Australia in the season opener, race 2. He lost control of the back end after the DRS zone in sector 3. So that was a heartbreaking one to lose out on a very promising reverse grid draw. Otherwise, he's incredibly consistent in the points. He'll always get you something. The fact of the matter, he always gets at least 1 point for the team. The last time he actually failed to score in any of the races for Grand Prix meet was Singapore 2023. We ended up 19th in both race 1 and race 2. But he's got a very solid record at Spain. He's picked up points in 2024, 2023 when it was on the calendar. And then you have to go back to 2016 when he last raced at Spain and ended up with no points. He had a rather dismal time of it back then, nearly 9 years ago, I presume, or more than 9 years ago, as it was round 4 back then. But otherwise, Menno is your man if you want to get some solid points each and every week. So great pickup for KKR after Menno felt it was time to try a new challenge when he helped break Multiforce's duck of Constructors' Championships. So they had a breakout season last year after so many years just watching everyone else pick up the glory. So it was time for Malta to have its championship again, and they've picked up 2 of the finest drivers in Pavel and Matthews Micah. So it is handy to see the new era for Multiforce after Mike Quint won the title and moved on to pastures new. And there we go. But it is, of course, about KKR and Matthew McKinnon's team. So he's very much tuned in to see how his drivers get on. And there's a spin for Hyperion there, just in the immediate foreground there. I didn't see which one it was, but these drivers, I'm sure, fully ready to commit to their preferred strategies, particularly the ones who are free to choose their tire compound outside the top 15.
It's almost time for the best part of the evening, the big main race 1. If I checked it correctly, I'm just getting the correct template here. Sorry, 33 laps in race 1, so very exciting. Lots of laps coming up, as well as 22 laps in race 2. So just 11 laps less than race 1, and hopefully compared to both, no need to pit for any tires in race 2, but race 1 it's got to be mandatory unless you want to be served a penalty or worse, disqualification. But I hope people will not do that.
I think our missing driver when I did the rundown for the qualifying times, Damien Cardas has actually said I had to reconnect to the server, so his wasn't registered on our qualifying rundown, but he is fully secure on his grid slot, and he'll be, I'm sure, ready to go for race 1. and he'll be called out correctly on the formation lap. So I'm sure race control have that duly noted for the upcoming race. And of course, another small point I want to make is Griffon. This time, this round 11 months ago, thereabouts June of 2024, they picked up Szymon Frelick, and he began his streak of wins. He was a 50% win record for Team Griffon Esports. So they got one of the best free agents imaginable 11 months ago, and that helped them propel up the championship order. But it's not quite the same excitement at the moment in 2025 for Griffon. But yeah, they're still fighting hard, and they'll be doing everything they can to get themselves off 14th in the championship and try and get 13th. So yeah, a little bonus one for you there with Griffon, who we talked in Australia, if I recall correctly. So I suppose I get a little bonus segment as a follow-up there. Yeah, definitely some of the teams that we saw last year having glory and success. It's been very difficult. So yeah, there's no time for complacency whatsoever here in FS1. Yeah, Ben Skinner, yeah, he's one of the many drivers. Oh dear, I wasn't going to finish that sentence with the chaos that's ensued here for Ben. I was just going to say, yeah, he needs his extra warm-up times to help him blend into his new team. Yeah, a lot of replacements are working away here. So yeah, whatever your perspective, yeah, nearly a half dozen new names, or at least drivers that appeared for the first time in Saudi. They've been picked up again. Yeah, lots of extra work to do there for Ben, but that crash definitely won't help. But I'm sure he'll iron that out of his system for the race.
Yeah, it's mistakes happen in warm up, and hopefully, they'll get away with it. Nothing but a slapped wrist on themselves for having little accidents like that. But when it comes to the race, no mistakes can be made. It's the real deal when it all starts off in just a minute time. As we see Ben Glenn doing some laps around the circuit in the HGP car, doing pretty well. And just looking on my list of my luxurious list of drivers, as well as the chat to see what everyone else is saying. Another thing to highlight from Edward Hunter, Scott Flack P5 in the qualifying segment that we just had. An impressive position there for the Australian driver. Hopefully, Scott will get a good start on the race, and maybe hopefully defend or gain some positions. But you've got to be very, very safe around the circuit on lap 1. We don't want to, like I said earlier on in the on the stream, we don't want to end up like FS2 in lap 1 that happened the other day, which was absolute madness. But I fingers crossed it won't happen. But yeah, very impressive stuff from Scott Flack tonight.
Yeah, checkered flag. It was waving for the warm-up session. It's wholly unrepresentative, but it is a 1-2 for overpower in the warm-up session here. So that's a nice little boost for their confidence with Scott in the aforementioned P5. Menno Clont there, third quickest, but nearly half a second behind Magnus there. And then Pavel Andrzejewski and Jasi Latinen complete the top 5. So yeah, quick drivers getting another solid lap in for the warm-up session, but we're still allowed to complete these laps if you're on one already. So Kasper Michalak and one of the MS Performance cars just behind, looking to complete these laps. And actually, MS Performance car pits. Kasper wants to complete this lap, but it's not capable of improving. It was actually 1:20.8, so it's a tenth off what he registered to be 17th quickest there, 1.3 seconds off Aukenhag's time. So everybody will be called into the pits about now, so we can prepare the grid properly. And yeah, fingers crossed that the connection issues that's been reported by Damien Cardaz in the Hyperion are sorted, as we really want to see him get his chance to drive in place of Mateusz Dabrowski. Yeah, there we go. Or maybe he's out, I'm not sure. We'll have to double check if he has a way back into the server or not. It would be devastating to lose a car entirely due to connection issues even before the race began, Alex.
Yeah, that's quite unfortunate. I think they're going to be waiting on him to reconnect. Hopefully, I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah, maybe he's got back in. Hopefully, yeah. That looks like his name is in race view. Oh, yeah, now he's back out again. So it's a struggle here, but yeah, we've got a schedule to keep, and the drivers, I know they'll be sympathizing with Damien here, but yeah, you can't hold up the entire event for just one person. There has to be the rules in place, obviously. Fingers crossed, you can make it.
Yeah, I really hope, because a really good qualifying session from the driver, especially coming in as a reserve as well. So let's hope he makes it back in time. Otherwise, it's going to be quite unfortunate. He's might have to wait till race 2 if that's allowed. But hopefully, I really hope so.
Yeah, if he shows intent of appearing for race 1, that'll be covered.
Yep, and yeah, I'm really excited to see this race to start, which will happen in a minute. I think once Damien gets back in. But I think the top hype for today is these new drivers and that reserve driver Damir Kuratko having an impressive qualifying session. I think if I'm correct, Damir was in the top 20. I think in the points as well, if I'm correct.
Yeah, he was definitely way up there. Yeah.
And I'm kind of not as surprised because Damir had a really good session in FS2 in race 1, finishing P4, which we all saw a couple of days ago, and could be a potential seat maybe in next year. Could be behind the scenes talks for something. Hopefully if Team Iris are interested for continuing next year, this could be something that they might have to discuss the with for next year, unless there might be other teams out there, hopefully maybe hoping to reach out. And but so far, let's not talk about the future. We're in the present, and I think Damir's doing pretty well in the FS2 with Scuderia Freccianera, if I got the name right. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Freccianera, I think. I have to look back at the preview Ed Hunter worked on for all the elements of the GPVWC pyramid. Yeah, so he definitely had an FS2 preview as well. But I think he can correct me if you and I are wrong. But yeah, Scuderia Freccianera. Hopefully that is accurate. But yeah, Ed should know all those pronunciations for all that incredible effort he put in 2 months ago now at this stage, 2 months ago. But yeah, Damir Kuratko, he wants to score his first points in FS1. He's been a substitute driver, I think 4 times last season. He got called up by VMS Sun Edits, KKR, and Pixelate with no points to show for his efforts. But yeah, he does have experience of driving the FS1 car around Spain. That was with KKR themselves. And unfortunately, a 17th in race 1 was his highlight, and a DNF in race 2 was where went pear-shaped for him. Yeah, I think race control are satisfied. We have our grid, and the drivers will be asked to take their grid slots, and we'll have our formation lap in due course. There we go. Let's see, most of the drivers are ready. There's the gap for Giuseppe Saracino filled, right on cue there. Frank Camming is there. Vin Glenn is there. So I think we have the ability to let the lights go out and get the formation building underway. I appreciate in my absence 2 weeks ago, yourself and Amir had to do the grid rundown, but I suppose I'll take back that responsibility from you. So let's have a look at our grid. It is another Multiforce 1-2. The championship leaders eager to put Jeddah behind them. Giuseppe Saracino and Patrick Roszak, their nearest challengers on the second row. Scott Flack and Yas Latinen together 5th and 6th. Apex GP on a roll, of course. Lucas Tylene and race 1 winner from 2 weeks ago, Oliver Taras, are on the 4th row, 7th and 8th. The top 10 is completed by 2 of our veterans, Menno Klont and Frank Hamming. Damir Kratko 11th for Team Iris. There he is, and all Alex. And then Lorenzo De Chutis, B12. LEF Auto Racing have their new recruit Lorenzo Churi in 13th position, Wesley Stefano 14th. Magnus Okenhag wants that second overpower car in the points. Janssen Bins in P16 will want to take it away from him. Matthews Kozowski for Nexium Pole Team 17th, Vin Glenn 18th, Matthew Zabinski and Philip Koenig, Hyperion and Griffon representation in 19th and 20th. Our remaining 9 drivers are Massimiliano Raboli, Raymond Van Soest, Ben Skinner and Carl Magnus Bore 21st through 24th. Row 13 is Kasper Michalak and Jasper Eriksson. There's another driver for 01 Esports that's brand new. Alex Gonzalez Green has owned Phil Hausvik for company on the 14th row. And then on his own for the moment, in the absence of Damien Cardaz, is Marcus Christensen for 100 to 1. So slowly but surely trying to improve, but at the moment Marcus has the probably lowest average finish of like probably 23 if he has finished, and then DNFs when he has not finished. So hopefully it is better success for Marcus around the more conventional circuit here, Alex.
Yeah, a very nice circuit. I actually been there personally last year for the F1 Grand Prix as well as F2 and F3, nice. And it's pretty good. I love the circuit, and hopefully it's not going to be too hot on track. And in real life for the drivers, as we know, there's a bit of a heat wave today, and looks like we're about to go for the 5 red lights anytime soon.
Yeah, this is the moment now. Let's see how they get on. So I backed Multiforce in pre-season. I think they've got what it takes to win again, but Micah on pole has a chance to lead the championship if he wins, and it's away. Let's see what happens as the teammates have to get into formation. A bit of chaos there in the midfield. Perhaps one of the next pole teams and all that sort of thing. We had the teammates from Multiforce working together to keep Saracino at bay. Oh, baby, Pavel wasn't looking in his mirrors.
Oh, no!
He drew the spin for overpower.
Oh no!
Oh, it's absolute bedlam here. You were saying in FS2 this happened. It's a repeat, I'm afraid to say. All sorts of cars are gone. Debris everywhere.
Oh no, that's really unfortunate. The commentator's curse has struck again. I prayed for not this to happen, but it has happened again. The cursed first opening corners of the first lap, and it is all happened again.
Rorschach, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Rorschach has a front wing missing. We do have, I think, one losing a wheel at the back there. It looks like a few people. One person's shouting for a red flag to happen. There we go. There's Vin Glenn and Yassi Latinen, unfortunately DNFing. That's really unfortunate for both drivers, especially Latin, who's currently P3 in the championship table at the moment. But looking ahead of the grid, it looks like it's been a great start for Matus Maker, Saracino, Andrzejewski. Scott Flack gained a position on P4 and looks Tyler in P5. There we go. There's the graphic there for places gains. Carl Magnus Bore going up 10 places, and Kavil Halskvix going 12 places just behind Skinner, who's P15. So it could be a point, maybe some points coming for 100 to 1 if I got that right.
0-1.
Yeah, 0-1 and 100 to 1. They're going to be both battling points for that. Gazalski looks like to be behind Janssen Bintz, the returning driver, as we go around into this corner here, and we go into the famous corner here where I actually personally sat to watch the race, and it looks like he's in a bit of a pixelate sandwich with Massimiliano Riboli behind, who's P13. It's all looking very close at the moment in the mid-pack for now.
It certainly is. So have a handful of drivers getting repairs in the pits. Philip Koenig and I think Patrick Rorschach are going to repair their cars. Menno Clant down in 27th, also in need of repairs. Latina and Glenn out of the race, as you said. So yeah, awfully disappointing, but yeah, we carry on as normal. So yeah, I was incorrect. It was the unfortunate Latina picked up in the melee, but Scott Flack escaped it, no problem. And KKR Esports are hoping Tylene can pick up these points for the team without their new recruit Menno Clant anywhere near the point. So let's take a look at the replay here. And there you go, the surprise attack, and Patrick Rorschach got backed up into Scott Flack, and then there's all the ensuing
God.
debris and chaos. So yeah, it was unlucky, but it was triggered there. Saracino went for a very brave move. He caught Andrzejewski by surprise, and then unfortunately it was a case where Yassi had nowhere to go really.
Yeah, we're looking now on Menno Klont's point of view. I think there was a bit of a hit from the overpowered driver. I think that might have been Scott Flack.
Yeah, that would have been Scott.
That caused the bit of the chaos, and then there was a spin at that corner, and it looks like, you know, all the other drivers had no time to react. And big shout out to Menno Klont managing to get the car into the pit lane with just a tire missing. That's pretty impressive. I don't know if he's still racing or not. And there's Janssen Binz's point of view as we go into the first corner here, and yeah, there's the big pile up there, and it looks like a lot of drivers managed to safely and securely evade the entire carnage that happened. And I apologize to all the drivers there. The commentator's curse has just struck race one, and I think I should keep my mouth quiet next time when I mention something about big crashes.
It is what it is. Sometimes you just have to mention the potential risk. There's Carl Magnus Bore, the other Team Iris car, using the runoff there just to escape the ensuing crashes there. And indeed, Damir Kratko there just out of reach there in P10. And we're looking at Carl Magnus is on board. He got through it with the same evasive tactic. So yeah, well done to Team Iris. They'll be pleased with what they've seen. And they're one of the strongest new teams thus far in the championship. Yeah, they're about 8th and 9th in the championship. It's so close down there, and there's a lot to play. Beg your pardon, it's 10th, so they're tied for 9th, I should say, with Hyperion. But Hyperion has a superior result on countback. So on this showing, definitely Team Iris have the big advantage with the one driver Zubinski there, 22nd. So yeah, Team Iris, one of the beneficiaries of the chaos. And they will see if they can pick up positions now. We'll hopefully see a bit more push to pass. Perhaps the start-finish straight, you have to use a lot of it to get the desired effect. Maybe they won't be using it as often here. Yeah, just in the background, we saw a battle, and there we go. Janssen Binz defending from Mateusz Guzowski, and yellow flags in sector 1, so maybe something else may have happened.
Yeah, I just saw. Pit lane. Sorry, I just saw, I think, a slowed down car at the entrance of turn 1 off the circuit there.
I wouldn't be rejoining from pit lane, I'd say.
Something like that, most likely. I don't know what that was about, but very interesting maneuver there.
Here's another replay, and it was Menno Klont actually. So he cannot really rejoin the track when all these cars are going to be lapping him. So he's going to wait his turn until it's safe to rejoin. So every single car will be putting him a lap down, and he wouldn't see the benefit of jumping into that queue when he was just going to be blue flagged anyway. So yeah, Menno Klont back in the race. He needs a lot of attrition to stand any chance of getting his point streak around here in terms of saving it. Have a lot of miracles needed to stand a chance here. But yeah, it's better now these 3 laps down, as a matter of fact, just to, you know, get some extra practice in, I suppose. Back to the leaders. Micah's advantage is over a second on Giuseppe Saracino. Pavel Andrzejewski sitting back, defending from Scott. And may have been something there in the midfield. Mateusz Guzowski's gone down the order a bit there. Yeah, he's definitely lost positions here, Alex. He's had a mistake. So Mateusz Guzowski is way down the order, so a mistake here from Matthews, and this just gets from bad to worse for Nexium Pole team.
Yeah, it really had a bad start as well. After it's the same, it's around the same corner as well. And very, very close from other drivers managing to actually react very quickly to the incident that we just saw on the replay, and nicely done by all the other drivers, keeping it safe as they could. But very unfortunate there for Mateusz Guzowski. I was about to mention Mateusz Micah P1 and Andrzejewski P3. It's going to be a bit of a switch up in the championship table, as you know, 9 points for Micah being ahead. Well, 30 points for Micah, 21 points for Andrzejewski is going to really switch up the top two drivers there. Multiforce GP, it's going to be, a fight to the death, I think, all the way to the end when we reach Abu Dhabi at this rate.
Yeah, I suppose we saw Mike Wint. He secured the championship with the race to spare in Kota. He thought he had it won in Singapore, but alas, he got a penalty for his late move on Victor Ivanov, so he was not allowed to keep the championship for that particular success. We had to wait another 2 weeks to seal the deal in America, and then that allowed it. So if we do get a title fight in the very last race, yeah, it would be a new experience for me. I think Jack Mayer was champion before we went to the finale in Brazil, or maybe it was the case where he had it pretty much 99% in the bag, so it wasn't the case where Szymon Frelick had any hope on winning without some sort of problem for Jack. So I think that's my recollection. But now a new finale in Abu Dhabi this year as Brazil gets moved to round 15 this season. So yeah, let's see if the likes of the Mossforce pair can take it all the way to the end. Here's Oliver Taras, one of our most informed drivers with an outstanding 3 podiums in succession. So the Englishman has definitely picked up the mantle for himself here. He's one of the informed drivers, 4th of the championship. And on this case, yeah, he'd be delighted just to take a P5 here. And Tylene is in the way, about a second or so apart for them, maybe half a second. Yeah, near enough. Yeah, 7 or 8 tenths, I suppose. Yeah, there's the compound choice. Massimiliano Riboli in 11th. He's got a huge advantage in some respects if he can hang on to 11th and go longer in the first stint after all that carnage, Alex. Let's see if he can pull it off.
Yeah, there is a few, as we can see on the tyre strats here, a few people on the hard tyres, Michalak on hards, Riboli on hards, hopefully can make the switch and maybe have that advantage when they go into the soft tyres later on this race. A few other people, as we see on the back on hards, but that was due to them pitting early due to the massive incident that happened at the start of the race, which I think all of them unfortunately were a part of. But a lot of them on softs. And making the most of that, sticking to their excuse me, just losing my voice a bit there, sticking to their strat, and it seems to be very strong for all those drivers so far. Micah as well, a 1.3 second gap lead, but there's a little bit of train forming here for 11th place, as we see Riboli, but just ahead of Karl Magnus Bore, Ben Skinner and Eoin Kowalskis.
Yeah.
There we go. I keep getting it wrong. I'll get it right one day, first try. As we see, there's Eoin there trying to make a move around the outside of Skinner, going side by side into turn 1, going into turn 2, but unfortunately playing it safe and staying behind of Ben Skinner there. And I think that's a wise move there by the 100-to-1 driver.
I agree, but in fairness, he saw that Skinner ran wide at the final turn, so his top speed would have already been inferior to what it should have been. So maybe a bit of push to pass was used either by the defender or the attacker that allowed Kvilhausvik a chance to battle with Ben. And alas, yeah, Ben had the ability to use the high line just to keep himself in position for turn 3, and he was able to hang on for the time being. The chance for Grafone versus MS Performance are two teams that were high and mighty last season. They're now battling in the basement, and Raymond van Soest in the MS Performance number 2 car has to defend from an eager Kaspar Michalak, who has those harder tyres for the time being. And then just in behind is Alex Gonzalez Green, who is down towards the second to last row, but he has also pulled off an amazing fight here to get 17th. And then we saw the other 0-1 car, Jesper Eriksson, pushing very, very hard here, and he's going to take the American. Oh no, there's contact! No! Oh, Michalak on Steph. Dear me, yeah, collision Van there, and that's removed Van Soest from the points as well.
Oh dear, I think that must have had a bit of a contact going into that corner. We were very highly focused into
the tires locking. Yeah, I'll just see it on the replay.
We're very highly focused on the battle between Ericsson and Gonzalez Green. That was just happening behind, and we just saw it off screen. We're gonna see a nice solid replay here to see what happened. As we see Michalak just taking the inside here into the entrance of turn 1. Oh, it looks like Van Zeeuw looks like he's just touched Kasper Michalak and went into it. So it looks like very unfortunate there. It could be a netcode thing. I'm not 100% sure. Didn't really see the slightest of contacts. Yeah, it looks.
Yeah, just wheel to wheel.
Yeah, it was wheel to wheel there. Just looking at it from the driver's onboards, I can actually see it now because seeing it from the broadcast camera, I wasn't able to see it that much because the, it can happen. All this netcode stuff, But yeah, very very unfortunate for Michalak. They're unfortunately DNFing, and I think Van Zeeuw is also DNFing. I didn't see his name pop up just yet.
Double check. Wesley Stefano, though, is in the pits. The other MS Performance car that I thought his name just popped into my head. He's taken into the pit lane, so he may feel a long second stint could be beneficial now that he knows there's been a high attrition rate here in Catalonia race 1. And yeah, we'll see how things shake up with Jesper Eriksson able to back up his teammate Ben Skinner now. He inherits that 15th place, left behind in that horrifying end there for the MS Performance and Grifone competitors. So yeah, we'll see how that fares. Wesley out in the 19th of nearly a minute behind. He's got enough space just to push as hard as he possibly can and see if he can pick off some of these drivers with a huge undercut. Lap 12 underway, of course, for our race leaders. And Pavel Andrzejewski calls early here. He may have noticed what Wesley was doing, and he wants to try that gamble. I know it proved very fruitful in Suzuka. I think that's what called the race one way or the other. So Pavel wants to get onto the hard tires immediately.
Yeah, it looks like a bold strategy move by Pavel Andrzejewski going onto the hard tires for the rest of the race. It's going to be a very, very, hopefully Andrzejewski's going to have a strong stint pitting in under lap 12, if I'm correct. End of lap and start lap 12.
Yeah.
As we see Micah still plodding onwards, still ahead. Saracino it looks like seems to have gained up onto Micah as well as we head into turn 10, my favourite corner as well. Into turn 11, sector 3 is my most probably favourite corner. But anyways, away from that, it looks like there's going to be a fight happening soon unless Micah manages to open that gap. But it looks like Micah's going into the pits as well, and Saracino's staying out.
Big call here for Team Shiba, going another lap. They've got to have confidence that the tyre will survive another push lap. I will note, of course, LEF Auto Racing's Lorenzo Churi also pitted, so early pit stops there. But crucial now in the contest for the championship lead between the Multiforce drivers, it will come to a head here. Pavel Andrzejewski with the undercut attempt. He's going to be full pace here, nearly 280 kilometers an hour, 6th gear. Is he going to be able to overtake his teammate? No, he's not. Micah retains position and he'll slot in just behind Alex Gonzalez Green. So Micah has pretty much held on to that same advantage he had before Pavel pitted.
Yep, and there he is. There's Lorenzo Turi, P15. I think he just got overtaken by Zabinski or attempted to make a move on Zabinski, but unfortunately failed as he just goes, I think, just a little wide at the entrance of that corner, but still manages to keep the time. Still trying to go aggressively around the inside, but it seems to be playing it safe as Zabinski still has that advantage of being ahead. But still, there is Frank Hamming, the HGP driver, P16, hoping to have a point as well in this race. Most impressive driver so far. Oh, bit of a little.
Yeah. As I said,
just saw that.
Zabinski almost lost control out of 7 and 8. Thankfully, he held on. Credit there to Churi. There, he saw what happened, and yeah, he was just doing his own business there. And thankfully, he didn't lunge thinking the Hyperion was going to go the other way, so he just followed his usual racing line and that kept both drivers nice and safe. But here we go, a real traffic jam in pit lane now. We saw 2 weeks ago in Jeddah where there was a collision in the pit lane. Hopefully none of that this time. Those drivers looking to stay in the points or potentially just fight their way back out. Now here's the high line for Lorenzo Churi. Can he make the overtake on Zabinski? So far it's going to be close, but yeah,
there.
A little bit of contact.
It looks like Hammond's trying to turn into the mix as well, and manages to make the move, going up to P10 there, and there's Frank Hamming trying to make the move as well. This could be a disaster for Zabinski, losing 2 places just like that in the first sector, and there goes Hamming around the inside of turn 4 and entering into turn 5, and that's something you don't really want to have to happen in a scenario like that in sector 1, but it looks like Hamming is still trying to keep up the pace, as we see Lucas Taylin, who was kind of leading the race, but now is going into the pits for some re-tyres, and Riboli still on the hard tyres, still staying out for a little longer, hoping to make the most of them until they wear out, and it will be back to the microphone for Matthews Maika, who's currently now P3, so almost there. Just a few more places for those drivers to be back in their usual standing form.
Yeah, now if I were in the Pixelate Racing strategy team, I'd be telling Massimiliano, go as far as you can until Matthews catches you, and then consider coming in for a pit stop, because if you get to lap 18, 19, thereabouts, yeah, you'd be thinking, yeah, you could get a good stint out of the softs and go to the end safely. Yeah, lap 20 would definitely do it, because that'll be another 14 laps, and yeah, I'd be confident that'll be enough. But yeah, definitely, he doesn't want to be caught up in the battle for the potential podium. So yeah, that's when it could be a distraction to his overcut here, as he's benefited hugely from what happened at turn 1 and beyond. So, yeah, able to cut up all the way to the 11th place on hard tyres. That's already fantastic. So to now inherit the lead with a 4.7 second advantage to the new hard tyre users, that's nothing to shake your head about. It's very, very positive. And Damir Karatko is trying to set a new fastest lap at the moment. It's not worth any points anymore. With a purple sector 1 shows the Team Iris are another team capable of working together as a fine duo. Let's see how they get on. Now Tylene, now he's P7, but a long stint, of course, for race leader Riboli means that he will get back up into the top 6 thereabouts very soon. Yeah, I think the Taras, he must have pulled off a huge undercut there to pass Lucas. Yeah, so very good job for Apex to get Oliver ahead of Lucas.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a recovery drive after quite an obscure qualifying session for both Apex drivers. Unfortunately, we have lost Atinen earlier in the race after what happened. But it's good to see one of the Apex drivers are doing quite well at the moment, P6 as we see, and Lucas Tylene putting the pressure as well as the Tutis just behind Lorenzo Churi on his debut with the brand looking like a new livery as well for LEF, doing pretty good in P9, and Damir Karatko P11 as well as Hamming P10. But it looks like it's going to be very spacious for now. I don't see anyone that close at the moment, but I do see a few drivers less than a second. Not too close for much fighting at the moment.
No, I suppose not. It's a little bit more spread out now, and yeah, I believe LEF Auto Racing did change up their colour scheme. A new look livery may have debuted 2 weeks ago in Saudi. I don't remember for certain. But yeah, it's a new take on their purple, gold, and white team colours, and it looks very, very snappy indeed. So yeah, really, really impressive job from the design team and Lorenzo Terovic Funcic. I'm sure he got a few jokes. I think the LA Lakers in basketball, I think people were saying it looked like a Lakers jersey, but yeah, that's well in the past now.
Yeah, we see Jesper Eriksson also. Second race of the season. Jesper Eriksson did make a I think it was a reserve placement last round. And managed to rank up some good points for 0 to 1, and it looks like it's going to be 0 to 1 versus 100 to 1 for P14. As we see, Eoin Kahalsvik. There we go. I think I got it right. I'm still learning. To get that extra points there. So P14, that's 2 points. So it's a little difference, but you know it's really worth to get those points as well. And you know, the higher the better, the more points the merrier, as they say.
Yeah, and now the temporary race leader, Riboli, he's almost going to be caught by Matthews Micah. So my prediction is to get to about lap 18, 19, still in the lead. So that's good. We should be planning to pit perhaps in a lap or two's time. So losing these precious seconds to the faster drivers on fresher tires, it's not worth it for Pixelate, in my opinion. Let's see if they want to agree with me. But yeah, they're looking to break into the 100 points. They're currently on 75, slap bang in mid-table. Nexium Pole team, I think, have had a rough time of it today, so they have a chance to close that gap, and they would be certainly encouraged to get Massimiliano plenty of points and maybe even a reverse grid contention. If you could get a top 10, you'd be able to benefit from a potential reverse grid draw. So let's see what the team decide to do. Did they keep him out an extra lap? Yes, they certainly do. So race is on the line here. Giuseppe Sarcino in Team Shiba colours. He may want to react to what's going on here, but it should be race lead and 30 points back in Matthews Micah's hands, and that'll be the new championship leader in FS1 as things stand.
Yeah, I think Riboli's not going to be fighting as much as compared to other drivers. They're on a more newer hard tyres compared to Massimiliano being on those used tyres from right at the start of the race. We do see Zabinski pitting in there in P15. I think who also started on hard tyres as well. But it looks like, yeah, they're going slowly, just going down the order, and then it's going to be a bit of a break after Andrzejewski overtakes Massimiliano when that happens, and then hopefully after that there will be a pit stop sooner rather than later. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit manic and a hard time with those really used and worn out tyres as we go, hopefully closely going into lap 20 or 33.
Yeah, and there was a bit of a weave there from Andrzejewski, certainly communicating his own frustration because Riboli has not yielded to him. Of course, it's his choice of how he defends his position. He has the right to do it. But now I think we'll push the pass, heading to 6th gear now. It should be Pavel Andrzejewski back on the podium for Malta Force, and he needs everything he can possibly get just to make sure he could rebound for the championship in race 2 and take it back on the flight to the United States. So far it will be a change in the order for the championship, but yeah, definitely 3 of our top 6 drivers in the championship are competing for this victory. Giuseppe was unlucky in race 2 in Saudi, his first non-score of the season. The race 2 we DNF'd, so yeah, this is a huge chance for Giuseppe to get back into contention, and he will have his second podium of the campaign, provided he can convert this result. P2 would be a best for him, as of course the P3 in Japan was the one that propelled Team Shiba into the limelight. Very, very impressive weekend for that brand new team with Lorenzo De Ciutis, of course, backing up that third place with his own victory there, of course.
Yeah, looking very good and very consistent for Saracino, and Lorenzo De Ciutis looking really good. Looking calm and collected in P8. So real good points there for Team Shiba. And as you said, going back to Japan, it was an impressive evening for both drivers. As we now see Massimiliano going into the pits for some fresh tyres, finally hoping to making a name for himself going into some new soft tyres, if I'm correct. As we see,
yeah, he really should be. It would make absolute sense.
There we go.
And
it seems everyone else just going up and up and up as we go. As we see Massi coming out P15. So in the point still, luckily. And I think from here it's going to be overtaking Mania if he keeps these softs not too worn out, not too heavy or anything like that. As we see Wesley Stefano, P16 just behind there. And there's also followed by Guzalski, sorry.
Yes.
I always get mixed up with both of those cars.
Yeah, I think many of us do, yeah. None of us non-Polish speakers or non-native Polish speakers can perfect the too many Matthews dilemma, but we'll get there eventually, I'm sure.
So hopefully there won't be a train falling. Oh, bit of a slip there by Stefano, but manages to stick it on the circuit and not go off track, as we just saw that. I'm just looking in the little replay here on my little screen on my right hand side, just seeing that. Yeah, that was a bit of a spin out of that corner. I think that was a turn 8 in the circuit. But so far it looks like it's going to be a little bit quiet for now. But we see Guzalski catching up to Stefano for P16, and hopefully going to be catching up to Riboli for P15 to get into the points.
That's right, yeah, but it seems very unlikely that he'll catch Riboli. It would be more the 0-1 esports cars that should be the target for these two drivers to potentially secure a point for themselves. So here's step 1 on the ladder for Riboli and Pixel 8. They need to get every overtake they can. They'll have the soft tire advantage kick in now, as of course the drivers who would have pitted earlier, they would have gained time on fresh rubber while Riboli went long. But now here's his chance to fight back already. He's got a green sector 1, 24.5. It's about what he needs to do, but with clear air, he's got to gain another 4 seconds to his next opponent. That is Jesper Eriksson in the other lime green and black 0-1 esports car. So yeah, signs are good for the Italian number 36 driver. He's got to keep it going, so gain a second a lap really from this point on, and he should get back to his target top 10, I think.
Yeah, it's a replay. I think it's from the yellow flag that we just had. There's Magnus Ockenhaug just behind. I think that's Christensen. Oh,
that's
okay.
Disconnect, yeah.
Bit of a internet issue there, and still, unfortunately, I think it's lost a lot of time there. And it's now fighting for P20. As we see Marcus Christensen, P21, losing a front wing. See what happened in this corner here. We see 2 drivers overtaking, making the chance. So it's 3 wide in that corner. Oh wow, amazing move! But unfortunately, Christensen losing it in that corner and going into the barrier. But amazing overtake there in turn 1. I think that was one of the overpowered cars.
Yeah. So full credit there to Remco for catching 2 moments in a single replay. Top 10, or top credit there. Well done, Remco. And a new fast lap for Menno Klon, who's just doing whatever he can 4 laps down. Here's a look at Stefano and his battle with the Nexium Pole team, and unfortunately came to an end there because he went wide. So that's a gain for Mateusz Guzowski.
It's really unfortunate there. We did see Stefano step up just a little moment earlier, and it seems the little slip happened again, and it seems to gotten the best of him. And it looks like Riboli has catch up with Eriksson to get that P13, as we see the 0-1 and 100-1 drivers fighting for P12. As we see Jesper Eriksson still close behind Kavil Halsvik. I said that right. Let's go. And it looks like Massimiliano Riboli is going to be part of the mix as we're into lap 24 of the race. Final 10 laps. So it looks like time's going to be running out for some drivers. It's now or never as we go on to hopefully later to the late stages of the race.
Yeah, that's the thing now. That the hard tire will start to lose its peak performance in a little while. That's where Riboli, with the new fastest lap of 118.8, he's got to notice this. But yeah, now that he has caught up to the Swede Eriksson, the fact that Kavil Halsvik's going to give him some slipstream on the start-finish straight, that's the last thing the Pixelate driver wants. So yeah, the case where he needs to pull off these 2 overtakes in sequence now. He's got to do it. Starting, oh, he's used a lot of curb there. That's going to cost him time. And you can see now the 01 Esports car is going to benefit from the Norwegian slipstream here. And that's cost Riboli a bit of time. You can see 25.8. That's about 4 tenths down. And he's likely aiming for. But he'll regain all that time back with the soft compound. And yeah, continuing to work on board to 5th gear. 250 kilometers an hour now before they brake for turn 4. Oh, on the slide there.
Ooh, bit of a slip up.
Yeah, Jesper, he's feeling a lot of the stress now, and I think, yeah, it's time for an inside dive, leaving lots of racing room there. And yeah, push to pass time should definitely be for Massimiliano. No, actually, he couldn't do it. Good defense, but I don't think this erratic driving here, now that the car is starting to give up on Jesper, is going to help his conservation. So Riboli has to figure out a way to pass. Not worth it here into turn 10 whatsoever. But now I think the start finish straight should be more realistic if he keeps it on the straight and now here. And the number 36 car should be able to overtake, I think, in just a moment's time.
Yeah, I think Massi wanted to play it. Massimiliano wanted to play it safe there, as we turn 7 and 8 is not a very easy place to make any moves. We've got to really stay on the racing line to keep on, to stay on track, and also not go into any barriers and go off the track and hit the gravel trap. I think in those corners, and we also as we're looking good sighting from Ed Hunter saying was great to also see Demir in the top 10 and fighting Frank Hamming. As we see Demir P10 there, and it seems to be very close between the 2 drivers as we're heading to the final few laps of the race. And look at that! Look at the big improvements from all these drivers after that big incident that happened at the start of the race. Phil Hausvik, 16 places up to P12, which is really impressive. After what happened, I think he's gotten the Hallows effect, which is what I normally have when I'm racing. But it seems to have. I think I'm giving it to Eoin.
Yeah, my goodness, I would have been a bit concerned for 100 to 1, knowing that they were towards the back of the pack. But no, Eoin has used his racing nous to incredible effect here to get himself a P12, and that will definitely lift 100 to 1 closer to contenders. Certainly Griffon are in trouble. They've both drivers out of the race. MS Performance, no drivers in the points either. So yeah, 100 to 1 for the first time perhaps in a long time. They won't be last in the championship, so absolutely huge scene here if Eoin can convert this result. And just double checking, yeah, 11th place, of course. He secured that in Japan, so it won't be season's best for Eoin, but definitely most valuable score for 100. They want to not finish last for this. Of course, they were 14th in the championship last season. Yeah, it's been a long time since they've been comfortably off the bottom of the table. To get 13th in the championship, now that would be something.
Yeah, that would be really interesting for having crucial points after having a bit of a pointless run. Just looking into their little points chart, no points since race 2 in Japan. So it hasn't been too long, but it's been quite quiet for the team at the moment. But I think this is going to be really crucial, having those points. It's I think with both Griffon Esports drivers out of the race, I think they could be overtaking them in the points charts, going up to P14, going out of that last place dreadness, and it will be. I think they'll be really happy with themselves getting these points and have a good pat on the back as well. But we do still see the 0 to 1 driver Jesper Eriksson and Massimiliano Riboli from Pixelate hoping to make a move soon, mostly for Riboli on those fresh softs. I think hopefully they are still fresh and nurturing them very well as we head into the last 6. Yeah, we're on the last 6 laps of the race, and it's still very close going to be very patient. Got to be really, really patient around this circuit to make the right move at the right time. Otherwise, it's going to be game over and into the barrier.
Yeah, without a doubt, Alex. So, yeah, the barriers are definitely a threat around this track. Certainly this corner here, turn 9, you'd have to be doing something very careless to hit the wall on the outside, but certainly you could pick up some gravel and spin towards the inside. Yeah, definitely turn 12, a dangerous wall there for absolute certainty. But now we'll change tack and watch Scott Flack and his defense against Oliver Taras. Indeed, as I mentioned, Oliver is perhaps the driver in form in the last 4 weeks. He has 3 podiums in a row. The chance of getting a 4th are shortening, I'm afraid. He's got to do something really special. But even then, I think 4th in the championship and a 5th place on track, that'll be really good. But of course, his teammate Yassi, so unfortunate in lap 1. Oliver Taras is on course to go 3rd in the championship here, which is really impressive for the driver. I believe it was with Luna for a time last year. I'll double check that. Yeah, he would have been with Lunar towards the end of the season, but he didn't have a drive full time in 2024. Until then, he had a cameo appearance with Kings, but he ended 2024 on a fantastic double podium. He's showing that class once again. So, picking up these points here, Alex, it won't be enough really to threaten Micah, who is on course to lead the championship. But yeah, definitely keeping it within 50 points, thereabouts, 55 points or less. I think that's a very good target after our 11th sort of race, and yeah, would be race number 9. I beg your pardon, race number 9 of the season.
Yep, that's right. Taras doing really well there. Hopefully, we're going to see something from the Apex GP drivers soon, as we see, Scott Flack's going to be under pressure in these last, like I said, the last few laps of the race. It's getting closer to the ticking time bomb is now going to be activated now as we, last 4 laps. We see Oliver Taras there, P5. There's also Luca Thailand in P6, as well as the Tutis in P7. Massimiliano is also running out of time. He's going to make a move over Ericsson. Otherwise, those crucial points for Pixlate is not going to be as much as he would expect after putting in those soft tires. But yeah, there's a little bit of a train running there, as we also see. I think it looks like the Tutis. I don't know who else that was behind him there. I think that might have been a lap car, because behind the Tutis is Turi, but that's a 6-second gap. So I think that's someone else who's been lapped. Who I think we shouldn't really focus on at the moment, but it looks like it's going to be very, very close between all these drivers, and I think there's a little bit of a gap behind Thailand and the Tutis, and it looks like it's going quite well so far. Heading very close to the slipstream as well, so it's going to be very, very close, hopefully into the final lap. But at the moment, Scott Flack is going to be holding onto the position as long as he can, as he's so far a second ahead, which is pretty good so far. So you must be pressing that push to pass button a bit more often now as we go into the next few corners of this amazing circuit. We see Lucas Thailand still closing up into Oliver Taras. So P5 is going to be really good finish for both one of the both drivers. And of course very crucial for each team.
Yes, of course. Yeah, every point matters. Frank Hamming on his own here in race 1 for HGP. They're kind of on their own in 4th in the team's championship, but KKR are set to make a small gain on them as they'll hit the century of points. But Frank Hamming down the overpower insiding. That's Magnus Okenhag a lap down. So this is an unhelpful distraction, I hate to say it. But I suppose, yeah, Magnus just wants to do whatever he can just to stay the course and use the benefits. Yeah, Magnus Okenhag, he's just going to try and slipstream Lorenzo Churi. But yeah, I'm sure Frank won't be pleased with this, but at the same time, 6th through 10th are eligible for reverse grid pole, and at P9 it's less like certainly the odds of your number turning up or getting some sort of benefit, it's like about 40% chance of getting a benefit when you're 9th, and then a 20 chance if you're 10th. But Shuri here is doing everything he can. Yeah, definitely. It's a dilemma for him here, because if he just lets the lapped car by, it'll just put Hamming straight into his control. But yeah, Magnus doesn't want to worry about the battle for 9th and 10th. He just wants to do his own thing. Right?
Yeah, I think. Sorry, I think Lorenzo wants to just focus, head down, keep the race going, keep the pace going. It's the last lap of the race. It's gonna be coming very, very close as we go around the final corner to start their final laps. Lucas Thailand making a move around Oliver Taras, going into the final corner. Nicely done by the KKR esports driver. The team that we have highlighted before the start of the race. But it looks like Oliver Taras is still keeping on as they go around. Going to be hoping around the outside of turn 1 into the chicane we go. No touches at the moment, very clean at the moment, but still not much luck for Oliver Taras. And it looks like the tutors is making a good thing there. And there's Frank Hamming making a move on Lorenzo Turi there. Looks like after making the most of that of the Magnus Okenhaug just unlapping himself with the driver. It's all happening now. We see Massimiliano Riboli battling Ben Skinner for P14. I'm starting to lose my breath here as well. It's all running out of time for everyone. Everyone's now panicking and making moves left, right, and center. And it looks like Jesper Eriksson's also ahead, and looks like they're going to be trying to fend off Riboli to get those precious points. And look, there's a Kavil Halsvik in P12, just not having too much pressure on himself. But it looks like he's going to be hoping to keep it. And there we go. Look, cross the line there. Matheus Maika wins race 1 of the Spanish FS1 Grand Prix, and there's Saracino finishing P2, and there's Pavel Andrzejewski in P3, and followed by Scott Flack in P4, just behind with Lucas Thailand P5. Amazing driving the final lap all the way to the end. It's still all or nothing here by all the drivers here. I think they're going to be playing it safe and not going to overtake, and just to keep Massimiliano at bay in P15, and that means Gzowski is also going to be missing out because he's a bit too far off as to go around the final corner. There's going to be no mistakes happening here. No, there isn't, and it looks like it's going to finish as it is. Ben Skinner P14, Massimiliano P15. An amazing drive. I just want to highlight out there Eoin Kavil Halsvik in P12. Amazing drive and consistently done by the 100-to-1 driver. Well done.
Yeah, outstanding stuff. So, Alex, you had a lot to cover there in the last minute and 17 seconds or 19 seconds thereabouts. Well done there. But yeah, definitely moment of the race there. I think Tylene with a typical Super Swede overtaking maneuver. Well done to him. But yeah, Matheus Maika is the new championship leader. He collects the 30 points for a race 1 triumph. Giuseppe Saracino splitting the Multiforce cars apart as the Team Shiba takes second. There's Pavel Andrzejewski now taken off to lead the championship, as his form has not been quite there, of course, as he was dominant from the first 3 rounds. Now it's not quite going as well for him, but he's back on the podium. Scott Flack, of course, there we go. Fantastic performance for the Overpower. Hopefully he will be able to hang on to that. I'm sure there'll be reviews of what happened at turn 1. Tylene with that amazing pass to dispatch of Tara there in the final lap. Jachutis gets Team Shiba even more points there in 7th. Frank Hamming also making a late lunge to finish 8th. Lorenzo Chur, one of our drivers, making a substitute appearance now that he's transferred in driver, I should say. He's now in the LEF Auto Racing team full time. In 9th, Damir Karatko, another name that we didn't see from race 1 or round 1. He's collected the top 10 for himself. Carl Magnus Bore there, backing up his teammate neatly there. Well done to Team Iris. Eoin Kvahausvik, as you mentioned, Alex, absolutely remarkable from the back of the pack, really 28th on the grid. He gets P12. And then 01 Esports, it's worth noting that Ben's overtake on Riboli gives 01 Esports 5 points. It was just 4 points there for Eoin. So there we go, a gain for 01 Esports there in the numbers battle. So yeah, really well done, 5 points to 4, I should say. And then Riboli gets 1 point. Gazowski was in the scenery there, he just couldn't quite make a pass. Zabinski Gonzalez, Green, Stefano, and Ockenhag are the top 20, but Ockenhag was the first driver a lap down. Patrick Rorschach in 21st. Next Pole team, disappointing outcome for them. Nothing they really could have done, I suppose. Menno Clont, losing that front tyre, he decided to get a big repair job done, and he fought to the finish, 4 laps down. So respect to Menno there for not throwing in the towel. But a lot of drivers did DNF there. We've Christensen, Van Soest, Michalak, Koenig, so both Griffones out at the track they won on in June last year. Bintz, Latinen, and Glenn. So Latinen and Glenn were hit in the first lap, and they'll have to try again in race 2, Alex. So quick summary, how did you feel that went at what track you have a fond opinion of?
Yeah, it was a great race by everyone. I think a lot to process after that big carnage that happened right at the start of the race. I think there's going to be something the stewards are going to be looking under most definitely. I think that was between a Nexian driver and Scott Flagg. I think it was Rozak that was the Rozak that was in that incident. I think it must have been pushed behind by Scott Flagg, but that's going to be under stewards, not me. So it's not going to be commentators judge. It's going to be down to the officials who are going to be sorting that out after the races today. But most of all, well done to Kavil Halsvik after a monumental drive going up to P12 from P28. So I gotta say, huge congrats to him. For getting that high on the leaderboard, and really impressive. Must have made the most of it with that carnage that happened. And commiserations to those who unfortunately got caught up with some incidents happen. Especially nicely well done to Menno Clont, who I think unfortunately DNF to actually finished.
He finished 4 laps down.
Yeah, he still finished. Especially losing the wheel, managed to nurse it into the pit lane. To get that car fixed. That must have took a long while, as we see all the other DNFs there. Marcus Christensen, Raymond Van Zeus, Casper Michalak, Philip Koenig, Jansen Blintz, Yassi Latinen, and Vin Glenn. Really unfortunate. I think most of them were unfortunately, I think three at the bottom were collected in that big carnage that happened, whilst the Griffon Esports drivers unfortunately had a incident. So we see Van Zeus and I think Michalak that had an incident at the entry of turn 1, whilst Marcus Christensen had a bit of a difficulty with the car. But overall, I'd say it was a pretty good race. I think I gotta be honest, better than watching the F1 race last year, because nothing really much happened in the real life F1 world around the circuit. And this is why I kind of prefer sim racing than real life racing. But then again, this is all the same engines, so really nice stuff.
Yeah, let's let our drivers and race direction have a break as well as ourselves. We'll be back in just a moment for reverse grid draw and race 2, so stay tuned. And welcome back, everybody, to the 2025 FS1 season. We've had our race 1 action. The championship has changed hands with Matthew's Micah getting the 30 points for a win, and that puts him ahead of his teammate Pavel Andrzejewski. So, with myself, Eoin Harmon, I'm delighted to still be here with Alex Hallows in the commentary box. And Alex, we've had our reverse grid draw, and it is a big, big twist, I'm sure.
Yep, it looks like it's been confirmed. Turi on pole. The LEF driver is gonna be sitting at the top for race 2, and I think, by the looks of things, I think Lorenzo, the manager himself, Lorenzo, is very, very happy to hear that. So a very congrats to Turi for getting the pole position for the reverse grid, and hopefully, you know, he's gonna make a name for himself at the start of the race. We'll see what's gonna happen.
For sure, yeah. To get a victory, now that he's taken the seat, Sven de Vries decided to withdraw his efforts. It was a shame that we only got to see him so briefly, but I suppose that's his decision. Lorenzo, now that he's the number 69 car representative, now he gets crash there, not paying attention there, one of the multi forces. But yeah, as I was saying, Churi, now that he has been nominated to drive the number 69 car, to win or from a reverse grid pole on debut would be absolutely remarkable. But I suppose the other point was, I was discussing Frank Hamming. He was 9th at the time, and he made that last lap overtake on Churi. So he concedes what would have been reverse grid pole, but nevertheless, he should still be able to benefit. I think he'd be starting, wouldn't it be third? I think I always get mixed up depending on the reverse grid draw. But yeah, definitely Hamming could have been that lucky participant, but his number was missed as he made that overtake. So we'll see how Hamming fares, but he should benefit somewhat from the draw. But let's see if he can actually do what he can do very often, and that is excel in a race 2 situation.
Yeah, we're gonna have all drivers coming back as well, apart from some who are, you know, I don't know who was it that unfortunately we missed in race 1 in the Hyperion team. Damien is it?
Damien Cardoz.
Don't know whether he's whether he's back or not.
Yeah, he's back. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So luckily that's all fixed. And yeah, there we go. There's Damien back at the grid, unfortunately, for missing out on the race after connection issues by the looks of things, and looks like it's going to be a tough one for him, back to square one from the back of the grid. But we'll see. You know, you can get lucky. You know, I don't want to jinx it again, but you know, there was a big carnage in turn 1, and you know, a lot of things happened there. You know, we saw Kavil Hausvik going all the way up from P28 to P12, which was really impressive for the Norwegian driver in the 101 spot, and as well as a few others who actually managed to make most of that carnage as well. As we see it's going into the race, we see drivers slowly lining up. As we see Lorenzo Turi, pole sitter for race 2, raring to go for the start of the race.
Yeah, so Hamming second, yes, of course. So yeah, the P10 driver Damir Krako was unlucky to miss out on any sort of draw. Commiserations there to Damir, but he'll be working as hard as he can. So yeah, Frank Hamming instead of the reverse grid pole, he's on the front row, so not too bad. And we know that Frank is an exceptional driver in race 2 conditions. Looking at his CV here, he's won the US race 2 and the Canadian race 2 last year, and he got a race 2 podium 2 years ago in Australia, Singapore and Japan, as he went the entire year without a win 2 years ago. And then Bahrain race 2, he won that, and he won Brazil race 2 in 2022 as well. So yeah, definitely Lorenzo, one of our fresh faces here. He's got a fantastic task against the veterans here in the reverse grid draw. So that's the excitement that it brings. And let's see now our formation lap and therefore the grid. So there we go. It's a novice in a brand new team against the experienced owner-driver Frank Hamming on the front row. Churi versus Hamming. We've Lorenzo De Chutis and Oliver Taras third and fourth. Lucas Tylene P5 and Scott Flack P6. So yeah, there's going to be another hot battle for position. Pavel Andrzejewski, he's got to work hard to regain the championship lead. He's alongside Giuseppe Saracino on row 4. The top 10 is completed by race 1 winner Matthews Maika and then Damir Karatko for Team Iris. And then Carl Magnus Bore will be backing his teammate as best he can, maybe even getting a Triovian. And then Eoin Kvahauzovic leads the 01 Esports drivers. Jesper Eriksson ahead of Ben Skinner. So new opponents for Eoin once again. Massimiliano Raboli and Matthew Zabinski alongside each other, but Raboli will want to add more than just that 1 point. Hyperion Esports now, complete unit. They've got Zabinski ahead of Gonzalez Green, Wesley Stefano and Magnus Okenhag 19th and 20th. Patrick Roshak and Menno Klont, they'll want to have big improvements here in race 2. Marcus Christensen P23 ahead of Raymond Van Soos. Then we've Griffon together 25th and 26th. That's Michalak ahead of Koenig. Janssen Bintz DNF'd in race 1. He's ahead of Latinen. He was also picked up in that first lap carnage. Then at the back of the pack from race 1 it was Vin Glenn, but now able to participate for the first time today, it's Damien Cardaz after he qualified, but he couldn't actually join the server and he missed out on race 1 before it even began. So Damien Cardaz has a second chance now to appear for Hyperion. So Poland represented very well, and best of luck to Damien on his first attempt with Hyperion in the Spanish Grand Prix here. So let's see how we get on the run down to the grid here, Alex. So any last minute thoughts?
Yeah, lost the first challenge accepted for Damien Cardaz. Good luck to him, as the race is going to be starting very, very soon. And we're going to see, yeah, there's everyone else starting for the grid. A bit unusual as well by seeing all the other cars as we see.
Yeah, Damien should be in pit lane, I'd imagine pit lane start.
Oh, there we go, 5 red lights.
And go. Who's made a gamble with tires? It may be Oliver Taras, and you can see neck and neck there with the Chutis. The Chutis takes the high line, but Churi's in the middle. He's got to back out. Yeah, smartly done. And from P3, it's Lorenzo De Chutis in the lead. Absolutely remarkable stuff. And now Tylene wants to get by Churi ASAP.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's managed to actually get off very cleanly this time. Oh, there's a spin behind. It looks like a purple car. I think. Oh, it's Damir Karatko. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Oh, he had an amazing race in race 1, and it seems to all gone square for him again in race 2, just like FS2. Hopefully he's gonna regain those positions back as soon as he can. But it looks like everyone else has gone very cleanly. No big incidents this time. But as I just said, there's a yellow in sector 2 for something. We don't know just yet. But it's all gone off again. Everyone's still very close by. Everyone's still clean. I think there's someone trying to make a move behind there. Yes, it is. That's Scott Flack and Saracino. I think Saracino's trying to go around the outside, but unfortunately not managed to complete the move as we head into the final few corners of the lap. And it looks like Scott Flack is going to be taking it easy as we go into the final corner, completing the first lap. Got free of any crashes, but it looks like Cardaz and Koenig is already DNF'd from the race. I don't know what happened there. There's more yellow flags in sector 3, so that's going to be something we might have to take a look back if there is something to look at as well. There's Wesley Stefano there, Jesper Eriksson there in P17 just behind Rozak. Might be losing a few places, as you know, all those faster drivers that had a unfortunately DNF from race 1 is going to be also doing the last to first challenge as well. Latinen already P25, I think, still P25. As you see, Jesper Eriksson P17 fighting against Okenhaug just behind us. There is Oliver Taras making a move on Matthews Maika, the race 1 winner, going through the very tight corners around here. Going off track goes Maika. Oh, that's very. I think that might have been a bit of a aggressive movement there, but I think unfortunately Maika couldn't make it stick on the track, and unfortunately lost a couple of places. And looks like Andrew Andrzejewski has gained it as well, and it looks like Scott Flack is still putting pressure on all those drivers just ahead as well, and Saracino. It's all gone crazy at the moment, but everyone's still driving.
They are, of course. So yeah, Oliver Taras, he's shown Multiforce what for now that he is their closest challenger, and definitely Maika won't be impressed. But Pavel has picked up the pieces there, and he's now ahead. So maybe it was the other way around. I have to double check that. Yeah, Pavel Andrzejewski now ahead of his teammate, and Micah's under pressure from Scott Flack. And there we go. So to Chutis, in fairness, he needs to get every second he can get here because he's on soft tires, Alex. So yeah, he has to pull clear and maybe try a one-stop strategy.
Yeah, it looks like there's also the Chutis as well on soft tires. Yassi Latinen as well, looking down further on the grid. I think they're going to either do a one-stop, like you mentioned, or they're going to have to be really gentle on those tires throughout the entire race. But everyone else is on hards, and I think they're going to be going for it. There's a car without rearing. It looks like the Chutis.
No way, he's out.
It's the Chutis. The Chutis is out. It's lost the rear wing. What's happened there? Oh no!
Oh, he must have crashed on the exit of turn 9, Alex. That's a huge shunt.
Oh no! Let's see. There's the replay here. So it's just as they're just sorting it out quickly. Just give it a second. There's the car there already destroyed. Hopefully we can go a little further back if possible as we wait on news of what happened. Here we go. There's the Chutis there. They're going around the corner, and don't tell me it's going to be this corner. He lost it. Oh, please don't tell me. Oh no! It's that. That is a corner you really don't want to mess up. It's quite a high-speed corner. I've done that. I think last year or the year before in Superlights when I took a reserve spot for TTF. That happened to me. It's a very simple mistake that can happen. More replays happening here. We see Raymond Van Zeus racing around, and it looks like a bit of a spin going into the barrier. Oh dear. Oh, it looks like he's lost it, and I think it was off the racing line a bit as well. Here's Demir. After having that spin at the start of the race, must have lost it or had a spin or contact. Let's see what happened. Was that contact from one of the HGP drivers there? I'm not 100% sure.
We'll see for sure on the onboard, just if you can see the car unsettled. Yes.
Yeah, it looks like it's contact there. That's really unfortunate. And I'm also getting some news that Turi lost connection.
Oh no.
That's really unfortunate. Oh dear. Well, we'll have a look if it's confirmed. Yeah, there it is. T26th place. Oh dear, that's really unfortunate, especially being P3 as well. When we last checked on the live standings, it's all going to be shifting all over again as we go back into the live feeds just in a moment's time. But I feel so bad for Lorenzo Turi disconnected, who started pole position in the race. But it looks like all the drivers are all over the place, still very close. Saracino P6, as we're looking at here, with Andrzejewski behind. As we see, it looks like we have a new race lead at the moment, Frank Hamming, from HGP Driving. And it looks like there's been another yellow flag. It looks like one of the Nexium pole team has took a bit of a tumble. But we see, as I was saying, Frank Hamming, Lucas Tolan, Matheus Micah, Oliver Tara, Scott Flack, and Saracino are top 6 with Andrzejewski, Bore, Kavil Halsvik, and P9. A brilliant start for the Norwegian driver in the 110 car. And it looks like Rozak has DNF from the race, which is quite unfortunate. And there's Michalak as well in P23. And it looks like he's now at the back of the queue at the moment, with Christensen just a bit further behind, which is quite unfortunate. As we see Magnus Ockenhaug wrapping up the points so far for the top 15.
My goodness, yeah, Frank Hamming was in the position once the Chutis crashed. So he inherits the lead. He was in position just in case, and now he's got the lead. Lucas Tylene now up to 2nd, and now championship leader Micah has a bit of a gulf there to Oliver Taras. So yeah, it's all going up Matthews Micah at the moment, and yeah, it is a bit of a certainly a spread at the moment. But Kavil Hausvik now down to 10th because Wesley Stefano in a basement battle has gotten the MS performance ahead of Kavil Hausvik's number 47. So that's huge for that particular side of the table. And Wesley, after getting no score in race 1, that's really important for himself and the team. Yeah,
it's a 1 place drop, but I don't think it's going to knock Kavil Hausvik's temper. It looks like, oh, look at that, Stefano, 10 places already, and it's been 6 laps, so really impressive from the MS Performance driver, as we see all the others. Finn Glenn going up 11 places in P18, and just still looking further up the table. A few P8 places up. Looks like there's those in the 18th, 19th, and 20th. I did mention Finn Glenn earlier, but it looks like those are the three that had the big incident in lap 1. That got caught up in the incident in lap 1. That's making a name for themselves at the moment in race 2. And it looks like Medusa Maker in P3 making a good start and gaining 6 places, and Taras is going to try and make that move very soon, or unless he has not catched up with them yet. Saracino P6 fighting for P5 to overtake Scott Flack as soon as he can, and it looks like it's going to be a bit quiet for now, but there is a bit of a train going on between all the drivers. Everyone's less than a second in each other, apart from Kavil Hausvik. Oh no, it's still all changing though. But from P6 to I don't know how far from down, but it looks like from P6 all the way down to P23, everyone's like around less than a second. So it's going to be a bit of a big race coming up, and lots of battles and fights coming up later during this race.
Yeah, that's certainly right, Alex. There's uniform tyre strategy from 1st to 14th. It's just Magnus Okenhag, who was a lap down, of course, in race 1. He has now the opportunity to fend from Jesper Eriksson. Of course, Magnus pull off a pit stop, or can he take those softs all the way to the end? That's a big question mark over that overpower car. But knowing how quick it is in the hands of Scott Flack, I'm sure he'll have a great plan in mind. Now that we look at the lead overpower, the Australian Scott Flack, he's defending from Giuseppe Saracino. He had, of course, that second position in race 1, and work his way up past the overpower car. That would be great. Yeah, definitely he's picking up crucial points, but Frank Hamming is probably behind him in the championship now, based off the finishing order. Would have been 7 or 25 points for second place against a 10 points for 8th. So yeah, Hamming has to try and get back ahead of Giuseppe in the championship, and at the moment it's going to be so close between them. But if Giuseppe can get a top 5 here, worth 11 points in race 2, that'll definitely help him negate some of that advantage that Frank Hamming could get if he hangs on to the lead. Watching out for any push to pass action. Not happening just yet, but of course, Pavel Andrzejewski, if these two drivers cost each other any more time, then Pavel is just going to lap him up and give him a huge dilemma as well.
Yeah, that is true. Maybe they're going to be saving their push to pass and their tyres for the later stages of the race. I think everyone wants to finish on the tyres they're starting on, unless otherwise, they might have a little trick up their sleeves and start for a one-stop strat. I don't know what people on the hard tyres might do, but I know for the soft tyre users, they might be going for a one-stopper, which is, they're most likely going to be on their plans, as we see Scott Flack here. There is a little close move between Thailand and Micah as we head into the next few corners of the Spanish Grand Prix. That's turn 5 we're going into. A kiss for the gravel there, just near the entry of it, going around to the exit of turn 5, and it seems to be still very close between the two drivers going into turn 6 and just 7 and 8. A nice little long chicane here, and the fast right hander of turn 9, and it seems Matrice Micah is still trying to hold on to Luca Thailand, who I think he really wants to get that P2 to extend that championship lead on Andrzejewski, but and there's a yellow in sector 2. There's nothing much knowing about it yet. I haven't seen any movements on the standings, live standings at the moment, as we see going around the penultimate corner, turn P13, turn 14, and we're going to see a replay. What happened here? It's going to be Marcus Christensen again. It looks like it's not going to be his day.
I'm afraid not. Oh, the back end got loose at Rapsol turn 4, but he has a chance to use the grass to help him get traction. Yeah, he's back on circuit in 24th position. He'll be the last remaining runner on the lead lap. And, oh yeah, I think he may have flat spotted a tire there. That looked a bit worrying as he continues his progress here. But yeah, he's the last remaining driver on circuit that is still in the race. But just to battle for second for just a moment, they'd noticed Micah's lap times. were exceptional for the 4 laps. He was probably by himself. 1 minute 12.
slow!
No, it's Vin Glenn. Oh, HGP being wide. That was a scary moment, but I'm afraid it was Vin Glenn, as a matter of fact. So he's made contact with Janssen Bins.
Yeah, it looks like something must have happened as we're just focusing on the replay of Christensen. It looks like Janssen Bint's going off the track there. I think he's calling it a day after a bit of rage quitting there. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll have a look later. But here we go. Looking into turn 4 of Repsol, and there's going to be a bit of contact, and there is. Oh dear, but it looks like all the other drivers managed to get around just fine as they were just off the racing line. Luckily. It looks like both drivers managed to get scot-free. I don't know if Janssen Bintz went off track to DNF, but I think it looks like it. As he just spins it a bit, but no, he's going to call it a day there. I think he fully stopped the car. It's quite unfortunate for a double DNF for Janssen Bintz on his return. I don't think that's going to be what he had planned as well. As we see, Matthew Smiker now P3 still pressuring Luca Thailand. For that P2, he really wants to get those points and make that gap bigger on the drivers' championship standings with Andrzejewski in P7.
Exactly. Yeah, every point he can gain here will be so significant for the championship, because he has the lead now. It's his for the first time this season, as of course Pavel, since he picked up a raft of points to begin the year in Australia. And race 1 in Turkey, of course, he has held on to that lead ever since. But now it's Matthew's Micah's turn.
Harris is going down this grid. There's a yellow in sector 2.
Oh,
Taras.
Good spot.
Something's happened to Taras. He's going further down. Oh no! What's happened here? Oh, he's off the
wide.
What's happened there? Oh, that's interesting.
Turn 9 again.
Oh no! Oh, it can't be a turn 9 curse once again. And it looks like everyone in the chat is going a bit crazy about it, because it looks like Taras has gone off. Now down to P21. Let's see what happened. And it's like the same thing. What's happened to the Tutis? But I think he just. Oh, there he goes. I don't see anything hitting.
So
I think he just managed to save it. Nicely saved by Oliver Taras. Wow. I wish I can handle and save a car like that. That's pretty impressive. See from the onboard. See if he didn't hit the barrier there. I've got to say that's pretty impressive if he has actually saved it. Did a bit of a cars thing here, turn right to go left. Just a little dib. I think no major damage has been done, because he still had that front wing on this car when he went on track. Oh no, he's gone. He's out of the race. That's really unfortunate there for Oliver Taras. Could have done a bit of a challenge there, but it looks like Christensen's in the pits as well, just looking down on the grid. Saracino there, back to Saracino here in P5, just behind Scott Flack, and Andrzejewski also behind Saracino in P6. I meant Scott Flack ahead and Andrzejewski behind. That's what I meant. My brain's having a rough day today, but anyways, as we head into the final corner, as they start with now 10 laps remaining of the race already. Time is flying here, and time is now ticking for those drivers who want to make those desperate moves. But I think they're going to be saving it for the last lap of the race. I don't know what you think. Do you think the same, or?
Say again, sorry.
Do you think everyone's going to be saving their tyres and push to pass for the last few laps of the race, as we're now down to the last 10 laps? Or
beg your pardon. I would say if you're not boxing now, you've got to save. It's just too late. Like Magnus Aukenhag has performed the fastest lap, so he's no doubt in his mind, because he wants to pit. He had the soft tyre anyway, I think. So it makes sense for him to pit and get going. If you haven't pitted by now, Alex, you definitely should commit to the strategy. It'd be just no benefit to save the tires this long and then just pit, because you won't get the soft tire long enough to go for the amazing lap times you need. Especially the pit lane is quite long here at Circuit de Barcelona, so that just goes to show in a sprint race it's really hard to make up that necessary time. Now that Hyperion, and they briefly had the two cars together again. It's all about Zubinski by himself in the sandwich here. He's got Raboli in front, but more concerning to him, I'm sure, is that it's a fantastic run for Jasper Eriksson. Maybe he's missed out a bit, so Alex Gonzalez Green, maybe he'll have an opportunity to have a look. Yeah, he's peeking, but he decides to withdraw that attack. Try again. Menno Clant has to gain another 2 seconds to be within this contest for a point and continue his streak of at least 1 point for over 2 years now at this stage. So yeah, he really wants to fight back after the disappointing turn 1 crash that cost him 4 laps of his race. And now looking on the board with the last remaining LEF auto racing car, the devastation to lose Lorenzo Churi to a disconnect. And it's up to Alex to fight back for the team, doing their absolute best in their rookie season. They want to pull well clear of 01 Esports in the championship, but at the moment, yeah, 01 Esports, they'll be working extremely well together with their new recruits. And wide, whoopsie daisy! Oh, Jasper a bit excited there to have an attack at Zubinski. And they're actually able to recover as a pairing there. No harm done. But huge boost there to Raboli. He can streak clear and take on the other 01 Esports driver. That is, of course, Ben Skinner. Here we go. This should be a push-past opportunity now for Gonzalez Green. He's got a nose in front now, and I think Jesper Eriksson will have to outbreak himself, but no, he's not going to be able to. And speaking of Menno Clant, there he is. He's gained that 2 seconds straight away, and the pressure is on as we have one of our drivers who appeared 2 weeks ago for his debut, I think, and now one of our other great veterans, Menno Clant, thinking about an overtake at turn 4, Alex, but it's not worth it just yet.
No, I think Menno's going to be playing it safe for now. It's still lap 15 or 22. There is still time for a lot of drivers to make moves very soon. But he's going to go try and run the inside of turn 5. And he's managed to do it, I think. It seems to be ahead. No, they seem to be still neck to neck. No, I think it looks like Eriksson's going to be playing it safe as they head into turn 7 and 8. And it looks like Menno Clant taking that P15 spot. Nicely done by the KKR Esports driver. And it seems when that fight was happening, it looks like Gonzalez Green is making the most of that and has gained a bit of a gap, hopefully slowly catching up to Zabinski nice and slowly, but we don't know yet. There's still a lot of time to go, and I think Menno Clant's next target is going to be Gonzalez Green as he's got the pace to catch up, and it looks like Gonzalez Green is also going to be LEF's last hope to get some points today, as you know, as you mentioned. Lorenzo Churi, unfortunately, DNF due to a connection issue. As we head back to the top with Giuseppe Saracino from Team Shiba, the only dog left in the pack to grab some points, and that was a pun intended as well, as we see him still fighting over Scott Flack and Andrew and holding back Andrew Juski as we head into turn 5 of lap 16 with the drivers. And just looking down further in the grid, I'm just trying to find out. I think Gazelski is also just behind Kavil Hausvik for P9, so it looks like Kavil Hausvik has got the P9 back after Oliver Taras having that DNF from earlier after having that little incident, and unfortunately saying his job's done here for now. As we see Mateusz Gazelski just on the rear end of him going into turn 11, turn 10, and now turn 11, then to turn 12. Nicely unique corners here. I do miss the chicane after turn 13, to be honest, but that's my honest opinion. As we see Gazelski going to turn 14, still staying behind. Could be a good use of push to pass here as we head past the finish line as they start their 17th lap of the race. Time is now going to be starting to run out for these drivers. It's all going to be now or nothing. Eoin, what do you think? I think it's going to be starting for people to make moves.
Oh yeah, Kasper Michalak has heard you, Alex. He had an attempt there against Damir Karatko. Wasn't quite able to pull it off this time. Yeah, but certainly the tire saving. If your preference was to do it early, now you can strike. Whereas if you've pulled out your maximum pace, you've got to reel it in now. And there's the inside line for Vin Glenn. That's where I went pear-shaped for him just a few laps ago. He's now trying the high side, and Kasper Michalak is alert to it, so he's not going to give up whatsoever. Vin Glenn stays 19th for now. But yeah, he will try again, but yeah, definitely he's learned his limits at turn 4, and he's going to try something a bit different. but he's got to pick himself up now because he's lost about 2/10, and he's just weaving about. Now we fast forward here to 14th place because Matthew Zabinski is he's now down behind Alex Gonzalez-Green. That could be a clue as to why. He has rear end traction problems, and Menno Clont wants to get through. So already down a position here, Matthew Zabinski. He lost out to Gonzalez-Green, and now he's defending. Oh no! Careful now,
no.
Jesper. Oh, good save.
Sorry, I'm trying to hold in my laughter after seeing what people were saying the Formula Sprint 1 Discord chat. Just trying to stay in my focus here, but here we are. But yeah, it looks like a very fortunate save there from Ericsson and P16, and hopefully still in the fight as we see Matthias Gazowski going to be trying to make a move, but still nothing going to be happening there. Still going to be playing it safe for P11. There is also, we do see Raboli and Gonzalez-Green behind, pressuring all each other. It's going to be a bit of a train coming on here with Kevil Hausvik leading it, followed by Skinner, Gazowski, Raboli and Gonzalez-Green, and it looks like Zabinski is going to be adding to the mix with Clont just behind an Ericsson, finishing off this long train that's going to be, hopefully may come all together very, very slowly.
Yeah, a slow rebuild here for sure, but now is the time just to think like you're a 1500 meter runner. You've got to just build up the speed slowly but surely. Then in the last couple of laps, you sprint as hard as you can, try and get the win. So this is going to be the same sort of thing in our FS1 racing cars. Got to peak at just the right time. Don't peak too early. Definitely don't peak too late. And yeah, definitely the contest is to get the best result you can now. And Matthew Zabinski wants to fight back against Gonzalez-Green. Not able to do so just yet. Yeah, this pack for P10 and below is definitely the most gripping at the moment, with so many drivers all within reach of each other. Even the recovering Jesper Eriksson, who almost went off at the final corner, he's also in with a shout. But Eoin Hausvik, yeah, even he's there, of course. So yeah, 9th through 16th, all in the same camera shot here, looking to score as many points as they can. Yeah, Wesley Stefano should be able to use this to good benefit. His last lap was half a second quicker nearly than Eoin's, so that should be a chance for Wesley just to hold position, because there's so much work for Kevil Hausvik to do, and he's got to watch for Skinner and Gazowski in particular. They're all so close.
Yeah, it's all coming together now. This big train, all getting squished together. It's all going to come down, I think, to the final lap. It's going to be last move mania, and everyone's going to be, I think, hopefully going to be saving their push to pass when it comes to it as well, as they're all heading into lap 20. As you know, it's already been started by the current leader, Frank Hamming, who is doing very well, 4.7 seconds ahead. So really nicely done by the leader. As we see Jesper Eriksson going to be making a move on Menno Clont around the inside of turn 1, but it seems to be side by side. Going around the outside of turn 2, I think there's a little bit of contact. He's still going to make the move around the fast turn 3. There's a very long corner. Can he still make it stick? As we head into turn 4, they're still side by side. This is craziness here as we go into turn 4, but he seems to make the move. Nicely done by... No, it's still not done yet. There's Menno Clont still trying to make it around the outside. They're still side by side. This is amazing stuff by both drivers. Still not able to clash against each other as we go into the very tricky turn 7 and 8, and there's more fighting ahead, and there's Menno Clont going off the track, and it looks like it's happened again. Gazowski P9 as we followed by Skinner and Kevil Hausvik and Raboli, and it looks like Gonzalez-Green is still P13. He's going to be defending around the outside with Raboli chasing it, and there's a spin. Oh no, it's Kevil Hausvik. Oh, that's the worst thing I wanted to happen. Oh dear, that's really unfortunate. Oh, I really didn't want that to happen. That's something that was not on my wish list at all. Oh dear. Let's see the replay of what happened here. I think it must have been a driver fault or collision, as we see the point of view of number 47.
Yeah, it looks like it's a spin.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate there. He was doing so well, and it's almost the end of the race. It's a little longer, but it looks like the tyres are becoming an issue for most of these drivers now as we head into the penultimate lap of the race. And Eoin Kevil Hausvik is now down to P20. And it seems I've got the name sussed.
Yeah, you've nailed it now, Alex. Very good job. But yeah, Scott Flack wanting a podium here. It's definitely near 4 a.m., 5 a.m. his time. And I'm not sure he can celebrate it too loudly. I'm sure there'll be someone asleep in the neighborhood. So if you can, just hang on in there for a little while longer. Saudi Arabia is a race that you want to forget about. And this is a fantastic way to rebound. To get a P4 here will be brilliant. So his best ever result was that race 2 at home just 2 months ago with the P6. Now to get a shot at his first ever podium in FS1. Now that's a just reward for all his extra work that he has to do from down under. But now it's stateside for Gonzalez Green. He's got to try and pick off Zubinski, as unfortunately Ericsson has done it again at the final turn. Just a bit too quick on exit, so that leaves him in the gravel trap for a brief moment. And O'Clont, now that he has a point back after the demise there of Kvilhausvik's rear traction, yeah, it's still a chance for Menno to keep alive his streak of always getting a point, no matter what the circumstances, dating back perhaps nearly 25 events at this stage. It's really impressive.
Yeah, really impressive, especially with doing really well, Menno Clont. As we look at him, oh, a bit of a wiggle there as he went into turn 5 and on the back of Jesper Eriksson. It looks like it's going to be now or never. I think Frank Hemming will be finishing very soon, as we're on the last lap already. I don't know whereabouts he is at the moment. Because we don't. Oh, there he is. There's the checkered flag now. Frank Hemming winning race 2. Finally a win for the HGP Motorsport driver and getting all those crucial points as we head back to the middle of the pack as we see last minute moves happening in sector 3, going around the inside. Bit of contact there between Gonzalez Green and Zabinski for battle for P12, and it's still happening as they head into turn 13. Please don't touch, and they have, but it looks like Gonzalez Green is still going to be to P12 and it's not going to be giving it back, and it looks like Menno is P11. Oh, Menno! Something's happened to Menno! Menno's P15. Oh, that's a good recovery there by Menno. Deep breaths, guys, deep breaths, and that's our top 15 there, all done and dusted. And it looks like our winner for race 2 is Frank Hemming from HGP Motorsport. Very nicely, well done. Followed by, it looks like it's followed by Luca Tylen, Matus Micah, Scott Flack for top 4, and Saracino top 5.
Yeah, so Hemming never in doubt. It's unfortunate for Jachutis that he crashed. But that's what the motorsport is like. Sometimes you just have to profit when someone else makes a mistake or something else goes wrong with their car. But there we go. No fault to Frank Hemming. He was absolutely brilliant there. P2 on the grid, so he ended up doing the right thing, going for 8th place in race 1. He got the front row start. He wins it from 2nd place on the grid. Lucas Tylene, the Super Swede, gives KKR a really solid ending to their evening. P2. Matthews Micah increases his championship lead even further now that he possesses it. Scott Flack, really impressive weekend for him, getting P4. Giuseppe Saracino cleans up there for Team Shiba in 5th in his teammates' unlucky crash. Pavel Andrzejewski, not particularly memorable race 2 for him and down in P6, but Carl Magnus Bore, how about that for Team Iris? Really impressive there. 7th place for him. And the top 10 is completed there. Wesley Stefano, P8, Matthews Kosowski for next in pole team, and then Ben Skinner has after a debut, P10. Great job. Massimiliano Raboli picks up more points for Pixel 8 ahead of Alex Gonzalez Green, who may be deducted there because Hyperion are surely going to appeal that move into turn 13. I think, yeah, they have a case if he goes for it. So Gonzalez Green provisionally 12th, but we'll see how that goes. Zubinski 13th. Ericsson for 01 Esports gets more points on his second appearance, I should say, for the team. And then Menno Clont gets his point after all, P15. Vin Glenn, very frustrating day for him, but his teammate, I'm sure, has comforted his blow a little bit, but P16 is his best. Kasper Michalek, Magnus Okenhag, Jesse Latinen, and Eoin Kvilhausvik very unlucky to spin there at turn 10. He has to settle for 20th. The last driver on the lead lap was Damir Karatko, who had a problem into the first chicane early in the race, or turn 3, I think. He will be disappointed with that. But Marcus Christensen makes it to the finish line a lap down in 22nd. But again, a high attrition rate, Alex. We've lost Taras, who was, of course, on course for a big top 5 result. He crashed at turn 9. So did Duties there in P27. In between them, of course, Janssen Binz and Patrick Roszak. Unlucky there to have some collisions. Damien Cardaz didn't last very long, unfortunately. All that effort to turn up for race 2, he is out. Raymond van Sust also DNFing with a crash, and Philip Koenig 30th and last. So really unlucky, his DNF as well. So definitely a hectic one there, Alex. Any thoughts?
Yeah, it was pretty good, very clean. Lap 1, unlike last time, which I'm very happy to see. I'm glad I didn't jinx it this time. No commentator's curse that spread around the circuit. So glad that's all been sussed out. But congrats to Frank Hemming, who won race 2, finally a win for the HGP driver. And it was a very exciting race in the mid pack as well, with all those guys, and really unfortunate for Eoin Hausvik, who just spun in the I think just in the last few, just like a couple of laps of the race. Really broke my heart, as he was doing really well, staying consistent throughout the entire sprint race. But overall, I'm glad that everyone kept it clean as they can, and I really can't wait for the next round, which is America, to the USA, Indy.
Yeah, we'll be going to Indianapolis in May. No better place, more appropriate place to go to Indianapolis in May, in just 2 weeks' time, before we get a spring break, Alex. So yeah, I know I had my one day off there for Saudi, and then you were made to stand out as well yourself, I think, for Turkey.
Yeah, in Turkey, yeah.
Eventually, we'll have 2 broadcasts in a row together. Shouldn't be too much longer, hopefully. Got to get the patterns going. But yeah, definitely very exciting calendar and prospect heading into summertime, with USA, Canada, the British Grand Prix, and then the German Grand Prix as well. The next 4 events coming up. So yeah, at least one driver or team, I think, will be well represented, depending on certainly the USA. We have a few American drivers, and then the British race will certainly see plenty of English drivers. Oliver Taras, of course, he'll want to try and make up for that crash today, maybe in a screen freeze. And then the German race, I suppose, with maybe it would be Germany. Yeah, Philip Koenig, he'll definitely be excited to go home as well. So we are almost ready to conduct interviews. We've one representative ready to go very early thus far, but we'll see if anyone else comes forward, particularly those drivers who picked up some trophies today. There's a lot to discuss in our interview broadcast section. So we'll give everyone else another minute or two just to put themselves forward. Otherwise, we'll allow our first guest to appear.
Yep, it was. I think this first interviewee who's in the queue, I think, is going to be very ecstatic after a big improvement compared to the last couple of races. An incredible tally of points that happened for the said team, and really happy for them. And it looks like the interview line is getting a little more bigger now. We've now got two in the queue now. But I know definitely there is especially one person I think we're gonna need to interview once we get going.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I think I know who you're referring to, but I suppose we'll leave that for now, depending on whether they appear. So yeah, I suppose another minute we'll give them. I suppose yourself and Amir 2 weeks ago, I think you had the most concise interview section of the year. I've let it run quite a long time, each of the first 3 rounds. So maybe a bit shorter today if people aren't chatty, but I suppose, let's bring in Matthew McKinnon, as his team are gracing our screens at the minute with the thumbnail. So let's have a chat with Matthew first. Hi, Matthew, can you hear us?
Oh, good evening, good morning.
Yes, very good morning from down under. So definitely a fantastic result there for Lucas, particularly in race 2. So how did that feel?
Yeah, really nice. We there was a lot of saving race too, I think. We, but which was unfortunate for us, so we couldn't really fight for the win. But coming out with P2 was quite good.
Certainly was, but I suppose commiserations to Menno Clont for what happened to him on the first turn of the first race. And he has that never say die attitude, so it was a case of it was his choice of whether to carry on after repairs. Was it up to him, or was it everyone's decision?
It was primarily his.
Yeah.
It was a bit unfortunate, and then losing that one front tire, we were a little bit skeptical if we should be continuing, but then he was quite insisting on going and just making as much positions off who fell off in race one.
Yeah, but then the other side of the coin, he keeps his point streak going. He always has a green in his column, and that's no different here, Menno, with P15. So yeah, full credit to him for fighting back. So you must be very proud of both your drivers today.
Yeah, they both had great pace coming in. A little bit of struggling in their preparation for this race, but coming in today, they felt quite good with their pace, especially Menno. I was quite surprised with his qualifying coming P9. P10 actually.
Yeah. So any questions here for Matthew?
Do you ask me? Sorry, you cut out a bit.
Oh yeah. If you've had any questions for Matthew, go ahead.
But yeah, nice race 2 there for Lucas Thailand, mentioned earlier. Do you have any thoughts? I usually do this for every team and every driver when they come in here for an interview, which I might mention later on. Do you have any positive thoughts or any anticipation for the latest stages of the season? We got the Temple Speed, Singapore, the Marina Bay, and the big finale at Yas Marina. Do you think you feel positive or keeping these points coming up, or do you think it might be a little difficult for some circuits that are on the calendar?
We started the season off quite rough, not really consistent. I think now it's just a matter of if we can keep these points up, maybe helping Lucas fight for a nice spot on the drivers and then constructors. And then I'm actually quite happy with Menno from the progress we've looked at from comparing his results from last season. His qualifying and race pace have both been quite improved, but it's just a matter of that sometimes you need a little bit of luck to really get those opportunities, which he hasn't been getting, unfortunately.
I think that's all the questions I have, yep.
All right, so thanks for that, Alex, and indeed, Matthew. Your time is very much appreciated. I'm sure we'll hear from you again very soon. Thank you very much, and see you soon.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So I think, we have our usual Malta-Force pairing. I presume they're the ones we should talk to next.
Yep.
So let's bring in new championship leader Matthews Micah and teammate Pavel Andrzejewski. Hey, gentlemen, can you hear us?
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Hello there. So I'll start with Matthews because you're the new championship leader. How do you feel your weekend went, or your day went with the double podium?
Woohoo! We are so back. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot more preparation than on Jeddah. I feel very strong on that track. In quali, I was surprised about the amount of grip on the track. I think there was 1/10 to cut on the final lap, but I did a little mistake. So quali was very good. The start went not great because we did a bad decision about going into turn 1 with Pavel. I think he should go on the inside and block the Saracino, but Saracino did a great job and used that and went on P2. And in the race, I was amazed about his pace. On first stint, I cannot run off from him, and in second stint on the hard tires, I was giving it like 100% of availability from the car, and I managed to build the 2-second gap on the end. But yeah, race 2 was very hard to keep up the pace of Saracino, to make the safe gap from him. Yeah, and this is how the race 1 went.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. So you kept your composure. Sorry, Pavel, I'll just ask yourself, when you lost your second place on the start, you pitted a bit earlier than the other drivers, hoping for an undercut. Was that something you were raring to do, or is it something you just decided on instinct, I have to do this?
Well, basically, I had to do something extraordinary to just to keep myself fighting into this leading pack. But yeah, Giuseppe today was extraordinarily good. His braking performance was really on another level today. He overtook me into turn 1 on race 1, and in race 2 he also overtook me by some crazy braking performance. So he was extremely strong today, and I'm very happy that Mateusz defended against him. I tried to do something different. I tried to undercut him, but I knew that this undercut will be a double-edged sword, because even if I push hard on these opening laps, then I will struggle, and I will have to save a lot of tires during the latter the time of stint. So yeah, I was in no man's land. Maybe it's how I should say after race 1, because Mateusz and Giuseppe were 10 seconds ahead of me. I was 5 seconds ahead of Scott and Oliver, and this is how my race 1 went. Actually, I think that qualifying performance today was one of the better I had in a long time, and my qualifying time was. I haven't done it previously on this track during the practicing, so I extracted, I think, something more today in this qualifying session. I'm really happy about that, but unfortunately my race pace wasn't as good as especially Mateusz, and big congratulations to him for getting the leader of the championship.
Yeah, very good. But I suppose at the same time, the two big names in race 2 crashed out. The Chutis and Taras have lost out on huge points, so you both managed to gain a little bit extra for yourself. So I suppose that's not too bad. So how do you feel now that you've got a little bit more than you may have hoped in race 2? How are you set for the United States?
I think Mateusz also has the same thought, that consistency is key in such long championship. There are 16 rounds, and finishing the races, even if on 15th place or on 10th place, is better than not finishing and getting 0 points. So it's really long game. It's really long chess play of this season. And I think that we are still doing really good job. We will be doing really good job, but I'm also looking forward to this spring break after Indianapolis. So I will be racing at United States with the rest of my power currently, and I'm looking forward to have rest.
Very much, yeah. Well worth the break, us, I'm sure, in a couple of weeks from now. Alex, do you have any questions for Multiforce drivers?
I think that last question kind of was kind of the same that I was, looking really strong and having looking to have that big gap now after the DNFs of both the Chutis and Taras. So I think I'm out of questions there, because all of them's been answered. So all I can say is well done guys for a strong weekend. A strong day of racing. I mean, sorry.
Let's pretend it's a racing weekend.
Yeah. Let's pretend it's a racing weekend. And
actually, today is a bank holiday in Poland, so for us it is a weekend, for me and Mateusz.
Oh, that's good then. That's good. But yeah, a good racing weekend, and long may it continue for the rest of the season. As you're both looking really strong for good contenders of winning it.
Thank you very much for these words. I don't know what to say. I just kindly thank you, and I think I have to go now.
No problem
We
at all,
will,
Pavel.
we
Thanks
will
very much, and
fight for
Matthew.
it. We will fight.
Absolutely, yeah. Keep fighting. There's nothing to take for granted just yet. Anything could happen. But nevertheless, Matthews, congratulations on your race 1 win. And Pavel, thanks for your time as well. See you soon.
Thank you. Good night.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.
And I suppose, yeah, Lorenzo has been waiting the longest out of anybody. So we'll let
We got to bring him in.
yeah,
we got to
it's
bring him in.
definitely his turn now. I know he loves being interviewed, so we'll definitely give him his turn now. As he was first in line, but he is the best to last. Hey, Lorenzo, can you hear us?
Yes.
Very good. So welcome to the interview room, and your new driver, Lorenzo Churi. He's taken over from Sven. I suppose heartbreak in race 2. I suppose you want to get that out of the way first.
I mean, there's only 2 words for it. Bad internet. I mean, it's just disconnected. I heard him saying VC. I was at the moment looking at Alex because I was like a bit more relaxed with Lorenzo because of his position on track. So I was looking at Alex, trying to help him get through the backpack a bit more quicker. And I just heard him say, I think I disconnected, and I saw in chat Lorenzo Turi has left the race. So that was a bit heartbreaking. Those Vodafone sponsorship for McLaren was a scam. Don't listen to them. But yeah, P9 in race 1, and also, I mean, congrats to Lorenzo, of course, but I don't want to take away from the fact that Alex as well, his best finish so far in FS1 P12 in race 2. Very happy with him. He said himself, and I mean, as much as I don't want to sound mean, I do have to agree with him as his team boss, that his qualifying pace is still lagging behind, but his race pace and his tire saving definitely are completely superb, and that helped him get to those points that we deserve, and he deserves, and that we earned.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, the good news for Lorenzo, you picked him up after he was given a substitute appearance with Grafone 2 weeks ago. And he got the P9, of course, that helped him into pole. But he went head-to-head with Frank Hamming towards the end. So I just said it on commentary, Hamming in P9, would it be worth getting the P9 and more chances of reverse grid draw benefit? And he ended up disagreeing with me. He got the 8th place off Lorenzo. And that proved critical, I suppose, as Hamming was 2nd on the grid instead of 1st. But yeah, top 10 finish for Lorenzo in his first race 1. Really impressive.
Yeah, well, not really exactly his first race 1, but his first race 1 as primary driver. Yeah, I'm very pedantic, sir. But at the moment, as it happened, I wasn't really particularly happy that Lorenzo didn't finish P8 instead of P9. It was only after the reverse grid draw that I was like, oh, okay, that's better. But yeah, not attacking Magnus here, but if you see, irregardless of the rules, as the rules say, you can unlock yourself if you have a pace advantage, but if you see people ahead of you battling for a points paying position and you're trying to unlock yourself with 2 laps to go, 1 lap to go, I feel like it's not exactly the smartest thing to do, or like the fairest thing to do, because I think that cost Lorenzo P8 maybe. It all worked out well in the end with reverse grid pole, and then race 2 happened, but I don't know. It left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth, because it could have been more points definitely in the end.
Yeah, Alex, any questions there for Lorenzo?
But yeah, Lorenzo, good solid points today. If I'm correct, it's been a bit of a quiet one the last few rounds. If I'm right with when it comes to points and stuff. How does it feel? To be back on the scoreboard again. Do you think it may hopefully continue for the long run up to Abu Dhabi?
Feels relieving, I'll be completely honest, it feels relieving to finally get those points back after getting 1 point across the last 3 rounds. To get P8 and P12 is feels good finally, and I think we can carry this into Indy as well, because we've shown that we have race pace, we've shown that we have qualifying pace, and I think we can only go up from here. I think this result just made Lorenzo and Alex bite down more, be more confident in themselves, and I think Alex especially, because he has experience in stock car leagues as well, so he's a bit more well acquainted with Indy, just not in this layout. But I think, especially since it's his home Grand Prix as well, he'll want to do his complete best, and I think he will, and I think Lorenzo will as well, and I think we'll be seeing ourselves in the points more often now.
And I think that's all the questions I have for now. I usually have the one question, but I think that's usually the one question I have.
Yeah, I suppose, just Alex in race 2, you must have had a few skipped heartbeats. It was just so competitive from 9th place down. So, yeah, it must have been really, really stressed, but I'm glad it worked out. Would you agree?
I think I would agree, because, race 2, he started P18 and then at P12, so that's 6 positions gained. And in race 1 as well, he gained 9 positions. 9. He started 27th and finished 18th. So that's 15 positions gained across 2 races, and I think Alex primarily can be happy with himself. His best result, as I said, in FS1, and I'm happy as well for him. And yeah, as I said earlier, I think we can only go up from here as a team, and Alex individually as well, Lorenzo as well. Both Lorenzos.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing when the boss is named the same as the driver, but I'm sure it'll come with time, won't it?
Time to go for Lorenzo in.
Yeah, LEF and LT. I suppose that's how you're gonna have to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, very happy with today.
I'm glad to hear it. I think Saudi was very tough on you, and indeed Sven decided to walk away. He couldn't, see any future in that car. So I'm glad it's a much better time for you this time, Lorenzo. So thanks very much for your time, and see you soon.
Thank you.
And we do have one last volunteer for a chat, and it's the ever-reliable Eoin Philhauswick, who must be feeling very mixed about his day. Bittersweet, I'm sure. But let's have a chat with my namesake, Eoin. So, Eoin, a success and a disappointment. So, which would you rather talk about first?
Let's talk about the success, yeah.
Right. Okay, so race 1, really, really impressive, because you were down at the back of the grid with Marcus, and the turn 1 mayhem, you picked your way through it, and you grew and grew as the race went on. So tell us all about that.
Yeah, it was just like how Brazil was last year, and just avoiding a gigantic crash and slowly going up. It was, qualifying, was horrible for me. I just didn't do a lot of qualifying practice as usual, but for some reason this time I was worse even. But this is why I don't really do a lot of quality practice. I just pick it up back in a race, and pace was solid as well. I feel like in both races, I had a good decision on the when to pit as well. A little bit after the 0-1 cars, and got ahead of them, both of them, and thankfully, I think setup-wise, usually this season it's been a bit. I think I've been a bit lower wings compared to the other guys, and that's just helped me the whole day in the races, just keeping people behind me and using that push to pass a lot better now. That's been improved from my side, and just positioning the car so that they get that dirty air when it is most advantageous for me, so that I can just use that push to pass for the rest of the straight. And that was my race 1. I just kind of kept it clean after that big crash, and I was super happy to get those points and to be ahead there. That was really fun, really stressful. I was just begging for the race to end magically. But yeah, that was my race 1.
Yeah, I suppose just another point was Massimiliano Riboli. He also had a big gain from the first corner. He had the hard tire at the start. He was up in 11th place. Then he pitted for the softs, but then he found himself stuck behind yourself and Jesper Eriksson. So did you think that was a threat to you, or do you think Jesper actually helped you out?
I mean, I did see that as a threat. I just had to like be calm and just see what happens between those two behind me. Just look at my mirrors. But I was thinking back to like Hockenheim last year when I used Riboli to like just give him DRS, and then he would, and due to that the people behind just couldn't get past him. That's what I kind of did against him this time with Eriksson, and you know, it worked out pretty well. And you know, this track, it's not that easy to get past, I've noticed. So that was an advantage to me, but I did see him as a threat. But I was then thinking, when the laps went by, I was thinking like, yeah, his tires are gonna be worse and worse. Same with Dover. So I think in the end I could beat him, and I did.
Yeah, so now let's move over to race 2, unfortunately, because it started out so promisingly, and indeed some big names ahead of you ended up retiring. So you found yourself in the top 10, and then a massive train behind you. So turn 10 with the rear end traction proved to be your one and only flaw. So what happened there?
Yeah, I was in a position I wasn't used to. I was around these fast guys and cars I've never seen before almost. And I was just, you know, trying to push him, stay with him, trying to look like I belong there. But in lap 1, I was hit on my rear, and I got like heavy damage from that, I think. And when those tires started to wear a bit, my rear end was just all over the place. I hadn't experienced that in practice or in race 1, that the rear end was a problem, and it just got worse and worse, and I had to go slower and slower, and I was keeping them behind me, but you know, I did like one mistake and then another small mistake, and then suddenly I had a car beside me, and you know, then they got past me, and then you know, the damage, the wear, and the dirty air, suddenly it became too much, and it just slid. I don't know, like I couldn't. It was just so difficult to just keep it on the road. It's such a shame, because I could have gotten a top 10, and that would be like historical for me. So I mean, I'm happy with my performance though. Still, it's just, you know, a bit unlucky that I got just hit on that lap 1, and yeah, it is what it is.
Sure. Outside of the 100 to 1 squad, the most disappointed spectator today was Alex, as a matter of fact, when you spun. So Alex, do you want to ask Eoin a question?
Yeah, I was very heartbroken when that happened in race 2. I just want to say that I was very impressed by your racing in turn 1, and I hoped you're going to get some more points in race 2 until that happened. Well, all I can say is after getting those good stack of points in the first race, sorry. Do you feel like you're able to, you know, do you feel a bit more upbeat, and do you feel, you know, that you know, you can still get some more points for the team, you know, next round or after that or so on?
It's like I really needed these points, because I'm not gonna lie, I was in Saudi Arabia. I was there like the motivation was down. I did so trash at that racetrack. It kind of set up issue, and we spent a lot of time trying to get that right. And coming into this race, I didn't practice a lot either. It's kind of because of school as well and stuff like that, but just not a lot of time spent on it. But now, like, I felt in the race like I really want to get these points, and I have to prioritize everything else in life. So I'm just gonna try and see if I can get some practice in. But as well, I am also doing some SL2 races for Drake as a reserve for them, and I'm doing these test sessions. So I did one in Saudi Arabia, and now I gotta practice suddenly for this race as well next week on that car. And it's becoming a lot of load on me, but I hope to get at least some decent amount of practice for Indy, and then we'll have that break. And I don't know how life is the months after that, but you just gotta take one race at a time almost, and prioritize the SL2 race now.
Yeah, thank you for answering. I really do hope you get some more points this season. I think you had an impressive display in race one, and as I said to all the other drivers who came in here today and team managers, I hope it continues, and good luck.
Yeah, thank you. I hope so too.
See you now. Look. Okay. So that concludes our interviews here, Alex, and definitely some very, very happy drivers, as well as some of those may not be quite as chipper as definitely the carnage in the first lap of the first race definitely will cast its legacy over the event. But overall, still really, really exciting racing, and it livens up the championship. So yeah, I'm delighted I was able to make my way back for this one after a holiday. And how did you feel, Alex?
Yeah, it feels great to have another day of racing in Formula Sprint 1. I feel like, being in FS1, it's one of the it's one of those leagues that are up there, like FS2, Super Light, Super League. They're all equally amazing. They all have their moments where it's like, whoa, wow, and it's overall in all the races so far, it's going really, really good. And the surprising moments that have been happening in this season specifically so far has been going really, really, really well. And I feel I gotta mention it. The Micah versus Andrzejewski, it feels like a Hamilton and Rosberg kind of situation. It gives me 2016 vibes, I think. So hope they don't have an incident together like what happened in Super League in Japan. That happened this year, I think.
Yeah, definitely that vibe. But of course, TOP Esports, they set the standard for what an inter-team battle can be like here in FS1, even just 2 years ago now. So we've certainly Multiforce be hoping to aim for that sort of standard, because they knew the wrath of TOP 2 years ago. They were just so strong as a pairing, and even in the days where Mike Wint was actually genuinely the best, like he was able to compete with them for a while, but his season ended up capitulating completely. So that's the lesson that Multiforce will learn now that they felt how tough it is to beat a dominant duo. Now that they've got one themselves, how on earth are the likes of Apex, GP, Team Shiba, and indeed HGP, let's not forget Frank Hamming. He always loves these race twos, so that's the sort of competition that lies ahead for Multiforce. So they are still my favourites, and the favourites of the majority, but with one more race to go before a break, I still think there is one more shout for one of these competitors to really fight back and give the Polish duo something to think about. So yeah, that would be my opinion on it. So yeah, same sort of feeling, Alex. Yeah,
same sort of feeling. Multiforce is looking very strong, and I think it's going to be like that for the long run up to the end of the season. And I think it's just the real question is it going to be Micah, or is it going to be Andrzejewski who's going to be taking the crown in the end?
Exactly, it's so hard to predict, but Matthews Micah has taken the championship lead for the first time this season. But that is all we have for you on this broadcast, with Alex Hallows beside me in the commentary box, Remco Zeeuw, the broadcast director. They've done a stellar job once again, and for myself, Eoin Harmon, it is a good evening. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks at Indianapolis. Bye-bye for now.